Mm. Oh, hello
Mm.
everyone, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How's everybody doing, and how is it going? David, what's up?
Hey, what's up with your voice, man?
What's with my voice? I don't know what's with my voice.
You
What are you
used
talking-
to you used to sound like a German psychologist.
Oh yeah, I'm no longer a German psych. I was listening to Norman Finkelstein today all day. Norman Finkelstein, and
Finkelstein!
I've been trying to get into the role and speak like him. And it's been difficult on me. But I don't know if you ever listened to him, but he kind of sounds like this.
No,
And
at least as I recall, the only thing I've ever seen by him was him with the clip that's circulating right now, which was him calling Destiny a moron or something like that. And so that is, but yeah, I didn't pay much attention to his voice, so I didn't get that. Maybe you've got some clips that will enlighten me.
I have plenty of clips. So there is this joke around this joke about the debate that he repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly deliberately said Destiny's name wrong. I think he only said it like the correct way once or so, but all the other times it was wrong. And
What's
this
he,
also actually,
what's he saying?
so his name is actually Stephen Bonnell, Destiny's name, and
I thought you meant he was messing with the name Destiny.
no, he called him
Because
Destiny
as,
once.
as soon as you said it, I thought of Back to the Future when he was saying density instead of destiny, and I thought, oh, you call him density the entire time. Density, that'd be perfect.
No,
Hey,
no, no.
future debate opponents of destiny, go with density if you want to just call names or something.
It's actually better than that.
Oh.
In fact, I was just looking at the debate stream that they had and looking through the comment section of the debate, and somebody actually broke it down. It was like this, like this. Every time Mr. Finkelstein said his name, Mr. Borelli, Mr. Bonnell, Mr. Barelli, Mr. Bonnell, Mr. Borelli, Mr. Morelli, Mr. Bonnell, Mr. Bonnell, Mr. Borel, Mr. Borelli, Mr. Farelli, Mr. Borelli, Mr. Borelli, Mr. Bonelli, Mr. Bonnell, Destiny, Mr. Bonnell, Borel, Bonnell, Borel.
That's gotta be deliberate, right?
The guy has a very, very apparent narcissistic trait. We talked about this quite often, right? Didn't we? We talked about this before. How with people who have these narcissistic personalities, you see very often this behavior, this attitude of them refusing to refer to people by their actual names, but instead making a nickname for everyone and using that instead, because it's like it's an attempt at basically signaling the message, I decide what you are. I don't respect your name. I will give you the name that I deem appropriate, and I will play with it and make it quite obvious because I have the power over you. Who are you? And that's basically what he has been doing this whole debate.
Yeah, that sounds like what he would be doing. It's also a technique for like when Andrew Tate is calling Candace Owens canned ace. It's all you can actually like put the person in kind of a defensive position by, you're so insignificant. I don't even know your name. I don't even know how to pronounce it. When
Yeah.
he had known her for years, I'm guessing, because there was stuff where she and her husband or something like that were hanging out with him before. But
And the thing is, like, she's totally sucking up to him, and like, can I please give you a massage and praise you? And he's like, sure, can't Ace. Very, 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 very terrible dynamic. Norman Finkelstein. I for most of my life I didn't really care about this guy. The first time that I came across this guy was many, many years ago. I saw clips.
oh,
of
has he
him.
been around? He's been around for a while.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
so he's not someone who got famous recently from the
No,
stuff.
no. He's just always a darling of the anti-Zionist and anti-Jewish perspective, despite him being Jewish as well. And he pushes this whole idea that Israel and Jews use the Holocaust as a demagoguery, as an industry to further their own goals and things like that, which is like a very, a very standard anti-Semitic thing to use, like an accusation to make, which you can very, very, very much find on the other side, and he has been defending that position forever now, and also siding with Palestinian organizations like Hamas in justifying their atrocities and so on. Very, very, very bad. Here is him on October 7, which is, if you smell the foul odor of a sewer rat, look around for Mehdi Hassan. If confirmed. In other words, this sewer rat, TSR, doesn't really know if Palestinian militants took children hostage. Who cares? This is in response to Mehdi Hassan actually doing something good for once in his life and condemning the act of taking children as hostages during October 7. And he insults him for that, calls him a sewer rat.
Yeah, look at what Mehdi's saying. Taking children aside. So this is October 7th. So this is the day we hear about the attacks. And Mehdi knows, as a journalist, when you have breaking news of these attacks, later information very, very frequently is going to change the story of what happened, because people are freaking out. Journalists have not had an opportunity to go in there and investigate everything. And so there's the story that children are being taken as hostages, and he just says, if this is confirmed, if this story, which we're all hearing right now, is confirmed, this is barbarism. And Norman's like, oh, so you don't know? Yeah, that's why he said if confirmed. He's keeping it open to further confirmation or disconfirmation. And he's saying, if it's confirmed, then it's really messed up. He says, if confirmed, you're a sewer rat. A sewer rat. You should be exterminated.
Yeah, very, very, very much. And he still to this day doesn't acknowledge really that Hamas's role in killing all of the civilians or in killing
it was the Jews.
He does acknowledge, as so far as I've seen during the debate as well, that Hamas did kill, or that Palestinian organizations led by Hamas did kill most of the civilians, and he agrees with the number of civilians that were killed. He still, however, goes for that whole idea of but we don't know how many of them were killed by IDF themselves, and of course that doesn't that doesn't make you condemn the IDF. And I don't know, very, very, very difficult person.
Sounds like a real winner.
A big, big winner. Hey, did you see this, by the way?
Yeah, I saw that. So what are they saying? Lightning struck in the shape of Israel?
There was no, not Israel, Palestine.
Oh, Palestine. Oopsie.
They say
oopsie. You see, this is the proof.
I'm not even sure if this is in any way authentic, but it looks very weird.
If it is, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, look, Allah made the shape of Palestine to send his blessings and to promise that good days are coming.
He can't give us a good argument or a good military to defeat them, but man, he made an awesome light show.
Plus, he didn't really get it right. I mean, it's like the shape is a little bit messed up. And, if he was in kindergarten or something and he drew this, they would say, okay, yeah, you need to work on that. But still, at least he tried. Like, that's Allah's message here. Which I...
All right, I'll have my 5-year-old draw Israel and show that my 5-year-old can draw better than Allah.
Yeah, here's Israel, and here's this thing that they call Palestine. Obviously, it doesn't look the same.
Yeah, Allah, you got to get this right. You see the bottom area there? It's just kind of almost a straight line. You got like this squiggly thing going down here, and then you have this weird tangent going off out on the side, and then over here, it looks like you've got steps, whereas actual Israel is just like this. It's steep sloping, not steps. So yeah, this is pretty bad. I'd give this a D- in art class. Yeah, D- art class. Mm-hmm.
That's too good. That's a little bit too good. Hold up. Trying to fix my screenies here. So what else is going on, David?
What's up?
What else is going
on? Yeah, nothing.
I'm just trying to make you talk so that
yo, like hey, what's up?
Yo.
Me here. And the magic go.
Oh yeah. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. So, and then Anyway, let's just
Hey, I was hanging out with Harris last night.
I saw. It's very disgraceful that you would do something like that.
Well, we all agreed that you have to be shut down for working with non-atheists.
That's true. That's true.
Apostate Aladdin. Yeah, we all had a meeting. We're like, this Apostate Aladdin, he is correct.
Who?
Apostate Aladdin.
I don't know who that is. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't ring a bell. It doesn't sound familiar at all. It sounds like a joke. Apostate Aladdin. Who calls himself Apostate Aladdin?
Yeah, what's up with all these guys? Soon as you had one apostate in his name, then everyone had to do it.
Exactly. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at what's going on here. All right. So I was listening to the debate here, and you see a lot of clips going around of people saying, "Oh, look here, Destiny is being completely destroyed."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw like 50 of those. I saw like, and I wasn't even looking for it. They were just popping up in various places. I saw like 50 of those. And there's one that people keep saying the exact same thing on, like they're bots or something like that. But I don't know. They keep saying, I could watch Norman Finkelstein calling Destiny a moron all day long or something like that.
And it is also so funny because the issue is he did call him a moron and he did call him other names. However, he did that almost every single time after he was called out by Destiny.
The court is not asked at this present phase
for not for making a mistake or for not knowing something. So this guy here is Benny Morris. He's one of the most renowned scholars on the history of Israel and the 1948 war and so on. So he is together with Destiny on the pro-Israel side, whereas the other side, Norman Finkelstein and some other guy, Rabbani, a journalist, they are arguing for Palestine and against Israel. And it turned very, very strange.
Hey, Norman Finkelstein should have been like, look at Destiny showing up with a Starbucks cup, knowing that Muslims are boycotting Starbucks. Shame on him. This is a dog whistle to white supremacists.
He has been. He was worse during the whole thing. He was like, he was just calling Destiny names. Whenever Destiny was getting something right or asking him if he knows what he's talking about, then he was like, I read 10,000 books. You only read Wikipedia.
I'm sure they believe it.
And if the Hamas is hiding behind civilians
every time they target a kid, I'm sure they believe it's Hamas. When they killed the 4 kids in
they believe.
Yeah, I know they believed it, even though they were diminutive size. Even though they were diminutive.
That angle, you don't see the size.
Yeah, no, they saw.
You don't see the size.
Let's see the size.
The guy's actually arguing that you can make out the size of a child from a drone.
Yeah. I know what he's quoting, but you've lied about this particular instance in the past. Those kids weren't just on the beaches, as often stated in articles. Those kids were literally coming out of a previously identified Hamas compound that they had operated from. They literally did.
Mr. Borelli, with all due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrifying.
He said moron.
Moron.
You're such a fantastic moron. Density.
The funny thing is, these people who watch this debate are so shallow, or I would say most of them probably didn't really watch the debate, but they think, like, here you can see that Benny Morris starts laughing when Norman Finkelstein insults Destiny. I would laugh too, probably, because it's funny and it looks ridiculous. And they're like, look, even his debate partner is laughing at him. Norman Finkelstein is so great. Wow.
Fantastic moron. It's terrifying.
He's laughing about it because the way he insults him in the dumbest ways is funny.
That wharf was filled with journalists. There were tens, scores of journalists. That was an old fisherman's shack. What are you talking about? It's so painful. It's so painful to listen to this idiocy.
And to be clear, on the other side, you're implying that a strike was okayed on the Israeli side, where they said, we're just going to kill 4 Palestinian children today for no reason.
Do you believe that?
Do you believe that? Do you believe that?
And then they will not pay attention to the fact that Benny Morris, the great scholar here, actually so many times approves of Destiny and says he's right, or respond to this, respond to what he just said, and so on. The greatest scholar in the room here is acknowledging Destiny and respectfully agreeing with him and pressing the other side to respond to him so many times. And yeah,
this Finkelstein, he said, just based on the little bit that I've heard, he seems like he could have been like a character on like Seinfeld or something like that, like one of Seinfeld's relatives, like his uncle or something like that. No, Jerry, what are we gonna do about this? Something like that.
yeah. That is very, 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 very interesting. And people share these things, like people share bits like these here. Like this clip, like I could watch this forever.
Special intent.
I'm gonna
special intent. Did you read the case?
Yeah.
You're such a moron.
I'm going to ask you again.
Genocide. Yes.
Please stop displaying your imbecility.
Okay, I'm sorry if you think the Declaration of the Judge is imbecile.
Don't put on public display that you're a moron. At least have the self-possession to shut up. Did I read the case?
Special intent?
And you know what the funny thing is?
What?
The funny thing is, this part here, people focus on how this is amazing. No, Norman Finkelstein is obliterating him. If you actually listen to what happens here right before this, you will see that Destiny is right, and Norman Finkelstein is being kind of exposed here for not knowing what he's talking about. Upon which he gets angry and starts insulting Destiny, which is what always happens here. Here, look. Now, Destiny here brings up a point when they're talking about genocide.
Africa's allegations of genocide are well-founded.
Yeah, I sped this up earlier. I was listening to it because Norman Finkelstein is very slow.
They're not well-founded. They're not even well-founded. The point is, you said that plausible was a high standard. It is absolutely not. It is a misrepresentation of the strength of the case against Israel, just like the majority of the quotes they have in this case are. And also, you said it was an extremely well-founded case. They spend like 1/4 of all of the quotations, some even pulled from the Goldstone report, that try to that actually deal with the intent part. Which is, by the way, I think you guys, I don't know if you use the phrase the dolo specialis, that the intentional part of genocide.
Sorry, I don't know that term.
I think it's called dolo specialis. It is the most important part of genocide, which is proving it is a highly special intent to commit genocide. It's possible that
what Destiny is saying here, dolo specialis, the term is actually mentioned in the Genocide Convention. It's also mentioned in the ICJ report, which they publish, which is supposed to be relevant and which these guys are supposed to know about.
Israel could.
That's mens rea.
No, the mens rea. Yes, I understand the state of mind, but and for genocide, it's called dolo specialis. It's a highly special intent. Did you read the case?
Yeah.
It is a highly special intent.
I'm going to ask you again.
Yes.
Please stop displaying your imbecility.
Okay, I'm sorry if you think the Declaration of the Judge is imbecile.
Don't put on public display that you're a moron. At least have the self-possession to shut up. Did I read the case?
Did you see what just happened here? So from the background of the situation and from checking the documents afterwards, I know for a fact that what Destiny said here is right. And he is actually speaking of the appropriate term found in the documents. And when Norman Finkelstein obviously doesn't really, seems like he doesn't know what Destiny is talking about, he says, did you even read the case? And Norm then gets very angry and starts yelling at him and says, Mr. Borelli, which is not his name. So, Mr. Borelli, please stop displaying your imbecility.
So just to recap here, Norm Finkelstein, it looks like he's one of the people who says that Israel's committing genocide.
Yeah.
And then Destiny responds, for it to actually be genocide, there has to be the intent of committing genocide. Like you can't be going after a terrorist group or something like that, and they hide behind people and they get killed, and then you say genocide. Well, if I was actually going after the terrorist group and not trying to wipe out a group of people or something like that, then it's not genocide. So Destiny is saying your intent matters. And what's the intent here? How do you show what the intent is? That the intent is for genocide. And Norman Finkelstein's response is, "You're a moron. You're an imbecile. Exit stage left." Something like that. And then people celebrate that, even though Destiny's point, on the little bit that I've seen, is perfectly valid and very important.
Yeah, precisely. And there's also, of course, the accusation by Norman Finkelstein that Destiny doesn't know what he's talking about and he's just reading Wikipedia articles. Here's a UN article on genocide. It mentions it here as well. Like you can easily access it. It is this special intent, or dolus specialis, that makes the crime of genocide so unique. In addition, case law has associated intent with the existence of a state or organizational plan or policy, even if the definition of genocide in international law does not include that element.
Go to right before that, because they actually explain it. It says to constitute genocide. So the intent is the most difficult element to determine. To constitute genocide, there must be a proven intent on the part of the perpetrators to physically destroy a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. Cultural destruction does not suffice. Gosh, you could destroy a culture, it wouldn't suffice. Nor does an intention to simply disperse a group. You have to actually, so for this to apply, in the case of Gaza with Israel, they would have to be trying to completely exterminate, let's see, proven intent to physically destroy all of Gaza or a particular ethnic, racial, or religious group. The intent has to be to destroy them. And we've pointed out 1,000 times, if that's the intent, if Israel with their sub 2-to-1 civilian to fighter ratio, if they are intending to just exterminate the population or wipe out the population, they are the worst genociders in all of history.
The most incompetent genocide.
That would be my defense in court. It would just be, okay, guys. So you think our intent is to completely destroy them? We have all the weapons in the world to do so. We could do it 5 minutes from now. We could wipe out the entire population in the next 5 minutes. On what are you basing that our intent is to do so? We're just we're failing really hard at it.
Yeah. And there is this by Human Rights Watch, for example, is this article which mentions it comes to the mental state, mens rea, as Finkelstein here mentioned, but then it then defines it as special intent, or dolus specialis, which is the term again which appears here.
That's a made-up word. I've never heard that before. I've read 10,000 books, but never heard it.
The intent is required prior to the commission of acts. Intent can be inferred, which is very, very, very difficult, and so on. But so the entire idea here is there must be the special intent, the very deliberate, the very special intent to indeed destroy this particular group, or to inflict severe harm on this particular group, from which it would be very, very difficult to recover, and to to permanently damage this group and their existence. So even if something went wrong, right? There was a war, and during the fighting something went wrong, and for some reason, because of crossfire, because of different attacks, because of different sequence of events, half of the population on the other side died during the war. Like a major explosion happened that swallowed everyone. I don't know. Let's just make up some really, really messed up, weird story. However, they could not establish that the side that is accused of inflicting that suffering ever had a plan of destroying the other side. It would be very hard to prove that that is a genocide. It would be, a massacre. It would be a very unfortunate, a huge crisis, a big tragedy, but it's very hard to prove that it's actually a genocide, that it was actually intended, that the side that is accused of being responsible for this actually intended to inflict such a destruction on the other side. So it's a very complicated thing, but Norman Finkelstein, despite being so well read and repeatedly saying, "Here, I stick to the facts. I am very literate. I read 10,000 books," doesn't seem to give this topic the respect that it deserves, but instead joins these memers almost in just saying, "This is a genocide. It is a genocide. That's what it is." Anyway. Apostate Boohoo says, what if someone who has limited time came to your stream and found you were running late? How do you think they would feel?
He's got a point.
Well,
this is why you're the dark side of AP's live streams.
The dark side of live streams. The dark side of anti-Islam YouTube. Coming late to the live streams. Have you ever thought about how many people will be discouraged and disgruntled and disheartened when you arrive late to a live stream? Can you think about the consequences?
It's literally genocide.
It borders on ethnic cleansing. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah.
On camera,
Mr. Borelli.
Putting yours in
Mr.
books,
Borelli,
okay?
I read the
I like
case
this guy on the
down-
right laughing. He's funny.
I read all of the majority opinion, the declarations. I read Aaron Barak's declaration.
Then why are you lying and saying plausible is a high standard?
Because I said even reaching the benchmark of plausibility is a very high standard in the world. It's the equivalent of a regional player qualifying for an Olympics. This
is so ridiculous, and this is why when I look at this guy talk and make arguments, it just looks like a joke to me. And many other people, scholars, agree on it. Destiny here, who is a layman, not a scholar, is making an important point, which is if a court says, like the International Court of Justice, that an accusation against Israel of committing or causing or not preventing a genocide is plausible, it doesn't mean that the claim has any actual strength. It just means it could be or could not be, but it will be evaluated and all the evidence will be analyzed. That's basically what it means. So it may or may not be happening, and we will look into that. But at this point, we have no reason to outright dismiss it or to acknowledge that it is indeed happening. However, Norman Finkelstein is acting like when the court says it is plausible that the accusations are true, it very much hints at the genocide actually taking place, which is not true. It's a complete distortion of the facts. And the guy just hides behind his reputation as a scholar to distort realities in such a way, which just raises the question, is he ignorant or is he a liar? We do not know.
The dark side of Norman Finkelstein.
The dark side of scholars.
Still 2 steps removed. You may not be on the team and you may not get a medal, but to get qualified, which in this context is the equivalent of plausible, you must be doing something pretty horrible. And as it happens,
to Murgatroyd.
The court will rule. Remember what I just told you.
I don't expect to be even around when the court reaches its final decision. Why? It'll take a long, long time.
2 years, 3
years. No.
This guy.
Oh, I don't think it'll take 2 or 3 years.
I mean, Bosnia, which was admittedly a special type of case because they were accusing Serbia of sponsoring the Bosnian Serbs. That took, I think, 17 years from.
I actually want to look at a specific part here, but hey, before this, actually, after this, I want to look at something different, which is so the other day, it came out, or somebody brought to Destiny's attention that there is a court case from 2015 where Norman Finkelstein went to court over harassing his neighbors, his Hispanic neighbors, because they were making too much noise, and he was brutally harassing
His
them.
Hispanic neighbors?
Yes,
That's
and
messed up.
and he was saying to
Sounds
them,
kinda
"You will be
racist.
deported. I will call immigration services, and they
I'm
will
gonna have
deport
to
you."
deport you. You're gonna have to be deported. You think you can come over here playing all that salsa music and dancing all over the floor while I'm trying to read my 10,000 books down here? What's wrong with you?
And the reason why people bring this up is, of course, it has nothing to do with the debate. It has nothing to do with all of this stuff. But isn't it quite ironic that this guy who is pretending to stand up for Palestinians and for people's rights to live and not to be displaced and so on, is in private threatening threatening his neighbors because they're making too much noise, with deportation, with having their children taken away by child protective services, and so on.
Now listen, there's only one day when I'm gonna let you get away with this, and that's Cinco de Mayo. Any other day, and I'm gonna have ICE in here taking you guys back where you belong, back where you come from. Come on, Mr. Trump, build the wall, build the wall. And death to Israel.
But but I want to first look at something here that is relevant to the debate. Norman Finkelstein, during this debate, misquoted and misrepresented Benny Morris on him allegedly suggesting that displacing Arabs was a part of Zionism, and that Zionists early on acknowledged that. So let's just listen to that for a little bit here.
Of course, is nonsense. But they had a strong connection for thousands of years to the land to which they wanted to return, and returned there. They found that on the land lived hundreds of thousands of Arabs, and the question was how to accommodate the vision of a Jewish state in Palestine alongside the existence of these Arab masses living on, who were indigenous, in fact, to the land by that stage. And the idea of partition, because they couldn't live together, because the Arabs didn't want to live together with the Jews. And I think the Jews also didn't want to live together in one state with Arabs in general. The idea of partition was the thing which the Zionists accepted. Okay, we can only get a small part of Palestine. The Arabs will get in 1937 most of Palestine. In 1947, the ratios were changed. But we can live side by side with each other in a partitioned Palestine. And this was the essence of it. The idea of transfer, it was there, but it was never adopted as policy. But in 1947-48, the Arabs attacked, trying to destroy essentially the Zionist enterprise and the emergent Jewish state. And the reaction was transfer in some way, not as policy, but this is what happened on the battlefield. And this is also what Ben Gurion at some point began to want as well.
Right. So the question here is the transfer of the Arab populations from the land, because they are accusing the Zionists of deporting or displacing the Arab population, and accusing the Zionists or the Israeli side of always having had that goal, which is not true. And Benny Morris explains that it is not true; that it's rather a consequence of the events.
Hey, Lex Friedman.
Yeah, well, he was actually moderating the debate.
What's his position on all this?
He's like, I hope we can one day stop fighting and find a way to make peace by just loving each other and giving each other big kisses on each other's cheeks. Maybe that will bring peace to all of these complicated matters, which I frankly do not really understand. But how about you guys talk and try to figure this out, and maybe tonight we can put an end to this Israel-Palestine conflict. That was basically his position.
And as long as I say this in my calm, soothing voice, wearing my Blues Brothers suit, then
with all due respect to this guy,
No, I
and
like Lex Friedman. I've only watched a couple of his things. I watched his thing with Zuckerberg and one or two others. But I don't
his
know. I like
political takes are just I don't know. There was a funny clip here which Destiny shared, which is
poor
here.
Lex Friedman.
I will do more debates and conversations on these difficult topics, and I will continue to search for hope in the midst of death and destruction. What gives you hope?
There is no hope, no. It's an extreme, no.
Basically.
Well, I'm starting to think maybe there is no hope, which is why I always wear the suit I plan to be buried in. I'm ready to go now.
You know, one of the first books on this issue I read when I was still in high school found it very clear. His prologue.
There is one.
Okay, here's the thing. I seem to have kind of messed up the timestamp here because I thought it was beginning at this part, but Norman Finkelstein is making the accusation here, and let me see. Inbuilt, published inbuilt. Let's see where this is first mentioned. What the hell? This is at the very beginning. Huh? Wait.
And then he wrote in another book, necessarily and elementally expansionist.
Okay,
Alas, this was not to be. As Professor Morris has written, quote, Zionist ideology and practice were necessarily and elementally expansionist. And then he wrote in another book, Transfer, the euphemism for expulsion. Transfer was inevitable and inbuilt into Zionism because it sought to transform a land which was.
When I first listened to this, I checked if I put the speed on slow accidentally, but this is the way he speaks. And then I put it on 1.75.
Arab into a Jewish state. And a Jewish state could not have arisen without a major displacement of Arab population.
No, first I put it on 1.5, and it was still too slow.
Because this aim automatically produced resistance among the Arabs, which in turn persuaded the Yeshuvs.
Then I put it on 1.75, and it was still slow. I put it on 2, then it was okay. But then Destiny comes in and speaks like
leaders, the Yeshuv being the Jewish community, the Yeshuv's leaders, that a hostile Arab majority or large minority could not remain in place if a Jewish state was to arise or safely endure. Or, as Professor Morris retrospectively put it, quote, a removing of a population.
So they have a whole discussion about this quote that he's using here forever during the debate, and they're basically accusing Benny Morris of having admitted in his book, which is called "The Birth of the Palestinian Refugee Problem Revisited," of acknowledging that Zionism is always has been expansionist and always has been planning on displacing the Arab population. So what I did was to go to that book and go to the relevant section that Norman Finkelstein has been quoting, which Benny Morris said is a misrepresentation of his actual words, and it's taken out of context. And I checked for myself to see if it's actually misrepresented or not, because this would be like the major case against Benny Morris and against Zionism during this debate. Now, here is the quote that he brings. But transfer was inevitable and inbuilt into Zionism because it sought to transform a land which was Arab into a Jewish state, and the Jewish state could not have arisen without a major displacement of Arab population. This is the quote here, the relevant quote from this book, from this part, which they discuss for an hour or so. after this. And Benny Morris keeps saying, no, you took that out of context. You took it out of context. Because if you read it within the context, I'm not saying that Zionism has always been expansionist and about displacement and so on. To make clear again, this is from the book The Birth of Palestinian Refugee Problem Revisited by Benny Morris. The book is like 600 or 700 pages or so. If you look at it with the actual context, I marked here the quotation in blue, then relevant parts that should be read to understand the context properly in red, and of course a few highlights here in yellow. What is actually being said here is what then was the connection between Zionist transfer thinking before 1948 and what actually happened during the first Arab-Israeli war. Arab and pro-Arab commentators and historians have charged that this thinking amounted to pre-planning, and what happened in 1948, the displacement of Arabs, was simply a systematic implementation of Zionist ideology and of a Zionist master plan of expulsion. So it's very clear here that he says that the Arab side has been making these assertions. It's not his word. He doesn't agree with it. Old school Zionist commentators and historians have argued that the sporadic talk among Zionist leaders of transfer was mere pipe dreaming and was never undertaken systematically or seriously. Hence, there was no deliberation and premeditation behind what happened in 1948. And the creation of the refugee problem owed nothing to pre-planning and everything to the circumstances of the war and the moment. Chaos, immediate military needs and dictates, whims of personality, and so on. So he put these two perspectives here. Then he comes with his explanation. My feeling is that the transfer thinking and near consensus that emerged in the 1930s and early 1940s was not tantamount to pre-planning and did not issue in the production of a policy or master plan of expulsion. The Yishuv, the Jewish community, and its military forces did not enter the 1948 war, which was initiated by the Arab side, with a policy or plan for expulsion. It's pretty clear to this point, right? He's basically saying that there was no such plan and that the Zionists did not enter this war with the aim of expulsion, with the aim of displacing or getting rid of the Arab population. Then he adds this, and this is the only thing that is taken out of context. But transfer was inevitable and inbuilt into Zionism because it sought to transform a land which was Arab into a Jewish state, and a Jewish state could not have arisen without a major displacement of Arab population. Sounds pretty problematic. It sounds very much like he's saying, in order for Zionism to work, Arabs must go, right? Although it doesn't really make much sense here. But he then explains pretty much the reasoning of it. And because this aim automatically produced resistance among the Arabs, which in turn persuaded the Yeshuv's leaders that a hostile Arab majority or large minority could not remain in place if a Jewish state was to arise or safely endure. By 1948, transfer was in the air. The transfer thinking that preceded the war contributed to the denouement by conditioning the Jewish population, political parties, military organizations, and military and civilian leadership for what transpired. Thinking about the possibilities of transfer in the 1930s and 1940s had prepared and conditioned hearts and minds for its implementation in the course of 1948, so that as it occurred, few voiced protest or doubt. It was accepted as inevitable and natural by the bulk of the Jewish population. The fact that Palestine's Arabs and the Arab states had rejected the UN partition resolution and, to nip it in the bud, had launched the hostilities that snowballed into full-scale civil war, and that the Arab states had invaded Palestine and attacked Israel in May 1948 only hardened Jewish hearts toward the Palestinian Arabs, who were seen as mortal enemies, and should they be co-opted into the Jewish state, a potential fifth column. A fifth column is a minority or a group inside that has the potential of revolting or going against the current thing and endangering the future. Thus, the expulsions that periodically dotted the Palestinian Arab exodus raised few eyebrows, and thus the issue's leaders, parties, and population in mid-war accepted without significant dissent or protest the militarily and politically sensible decision not to allow an Arab refugee return, and so on. So if you read all of this in context, what Benny Morris is actually saying here is he thinks it is inevitable and part of Zionism that this displacement would take place. It is pretty much naturally there. But he also says very clearly that the Zionists, the Jewish community living in this land, never, ever really had a master plan or an acknowledgement that they would actually displace the Arab population. It's quite clear here. Very, very clear. But Norman Finkelstein took this out of context, and so many others do too, which is why they accuse scholars like Benny Morris and Zionists of being, these displacers, these people who are for expulsion, and so on. When Benny Morris here clearly said that this was never really the master plan, there never was such a policy. It came as a result of everything that happened, although he still thinks that it was inevitable. That's it. There was a lot of reading here and a lot of going into this stuff. And I know this is too much reading. Nowadays, people shouldn't be reading. They should be watching TikTok videos. And I'm sorry that I'm not watching a TikTok video, but instead reading a text. Maybe next time I could watch TikTok videos instead. What do you think, David?
Yeah. The people can't pay attention to like an entire page and a quarter here.
Why are you insulting people?
I'm saying the Dawa community literally cannot read a headline and understand it. How are they supposed to understand a page and a quarter of an actual scholarly work? Come on, be realistic here.
Anyway, that's that. Now I want to go into something different and look into the insanities of Dr. Norman Finkelstein. Make it a little bit more fun here. I don't know if people came across some of the stuff that has been going around. However, here are some things that came out when it turned out that Norman Finkelstein has a history of harassing his neighbors. Here's a photo, first off, which is of the door of the neighbors that he apparently hit and damaged to make noise and harass them.
But I had to. Someone was in a sombrero in there, and it freaked me out.
Here is a letter that he puts on their door, which says, "If you stomp and bang on your bedroom floor in the morning between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m., I will bang on your door and on my bedroom ceiling between 3:30 and 5 a.m. the next morning. If I don't sleep, you don't sleep. If you can't control yourself, you can rent the gorilla cage in the Bronx Zoo. I will happily supply fresh bananas."
And I've been learning about you, watching the Speedy Gonzalez cartoon. I will provide you with cheese if that's what you want. What is wrong with this dude, man?
He actually tells them to go and rent a gorilla cage at the zoo, and he will bring them bananas. All of this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. It actually starts with him filing a complaint and basically accusing the other side of ruining his reputation by making complaints about him and threatening to kill him and running a fake doctor's business and of being illegal immigrants and all that stuff, for which they then file a counterclaim and say, this guy is completely insane. and say, we deny all of these paragraphs, and there is a list of all the paragraphs, and it looks like this. Defendants specifically deny paragraphs 11, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28, and so on. And the others for lack of knowledge and all that. They then explain some of the things here. Let's see. On or about the summer of 2015, plaintiff Norman Finkelstein, apparently claiming that the defendants were intentionally making noise in their apartment purposely to annoy plaintiff, started a campaign of harassment and intimidation against the defendants in order to drive them out of the apartment. Plaintiffs made false and malicious reports against the defendants to the Child Protective Services, seeking to have the defendant's daughter, about 2 years old, taken away from the defendants.
I can tell from all the banging up there that they're doing some lucha libre stuff, and that's just not a safe environment for a 2-year-old.
On or about August 14, 2015, defendants received a letter, Exhibit A, from Child Protective Services that a report had been filed against them for suspected child abuse or maltreatment. But the CPS dismissed the complaints and advised the defendants in a letter, Exhibit B, that the complaints against them were unfounded. Let's have a look at that letter, right? It's pretty weird. It is pretty weird. This is all public record, by the way, so no worries. Wait, is this it? That's Exhibit A at the bottom, right?
The case cracker, Exhibit A.
Wait, hold on. Let me see this. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's it. Unknown. Dear unknown. Wait, is this the letter for, what is this?
Why are you asking us?
On or about August, the defendants received a letter from Child Protective Services. Okay, this is from Child Protective Services. So this is a letter to inform them that that they received a report about a child being mistreated, and they're just informing them that such a case is going on. Okay, there's nothing important here. This is just a notification letter. Plaintiff also made false reports to the police and immigration authorities against the defendants without just cause other than to harass the defendants. On or about August 15, plaintiff and defendant so-and-so were in an elevator at the subject apartment building. Plaintiff suddenly confronted the defendant, Carol something, yelling, "Your husband is a drug addict. I'm a professor. I am a doctor. I will do everything for them to take away your daughter." Seriously, this is in here. Look. Well, okay, it's already known. "Your husband is a drug addict. I'm a professor. I'm a doctor. I will do everything for them to take away your daughter." This outrageous outburst shocked the defendant. Refusing to be bullied, defendant tried to defend herself and her family and told plaintiff that he is not the only professional in the building. After the aforesaid incident, plaintiff committed more intimidating and hateful actions against the defendants. On several occasions, these incidents compelled the defendants to contact the police.
And that poor little 2-year-old, all they feed her is tacos and jalapenos. Something has to be done to get them out of my building and get some nice white people in here. What's wrong with this guy, man?
This man has real problems.
Plaintiff struck defendant's apartment door with heavy blows from a heavy object. Attached is a picture of the damage to the defendant's door as a result of the blows. We saw that earlier. Plaintiff would also strike the walls and ceiling of his own apartment, which would rattle and terrify the defendant's family upstairs. Plaintiff would engage in unprompted harassing conduct with defendants. At one point, plaintiff went up to the defendant's apartment and rang the buzzer and refused to let go of the buzzer. This act caused the defendants, and especially their baby daughter, to hide in fear.
This dude's lucky he didn't mess with the wrong ones. I mean, I've been around people who you start harassing them and you're freaking out the guy's wife or daughter or something like that. You're just gonna knock all your teeth out of your mouth.
Yeah. Let's actually get to one of those letters. Oh yeah, okay. This is the first one that is mentioned. If you don't sleep, I don't sleep. Bananas and so on. Then here's another letter. Look at this. Starting at 3:30 a.m., you will not be sleeping tonight. That's it. That's the letter. That's it. And then it goes on to say, oh, this one. This is the funniest, actually. It's just this. Too bad, apes. You're not sleeping tonight. He repeatedly calls them apes. Said you're a bunch of gorillas, bunch of apes. How about you go to the zoo and I will give you bananas?
It's funny that he puts all this stuff into writing.
I know. But why even would he do this? It's so ridiculous. Like, why would he even write this stuff down?
Like he doesn't just say it. He doesn't just say it or yell it or something like that. He actually like he provides the appropriate documentation.
Yeah. And you know what the funniest thing is? We spoke of narcissism earlier. Look at this one here. This appears at some point. I warned you that you will never win against me. You should have Googled my name, Norman
Apostate
Finkelstein.
Prophet.
Norman Finkelstein, or gone to YouTube and entered my name. Now it is too late.
Hey, if you just change this, if you just change Norman Finkelstein to Apostate Prophet there, you could send this to Apostate Aladdin.
But seriously, who writes this, man?
You will never win against me. You will never win. You'll never win against me. You should have Googled my name, Norman Finkelstein, or gone to YouTube and entered my name. Now it's too late. Now you're going to the zoo. I'll bring you your bananas.
You have to say it much slower. If he spoke this out, it would be like, I warned you that you will never win against me. You should have Googled my name, Norman Finkelstein.
You
or
should
gone
have
to YouTube,
Googled my name.
entered my name.
It's Norman.
No,
Norman
it is
Finkelstein.
too late.
Or gone to YouTube and entered my name.
This is so ridiculous.
Hey, you could change too late apes to apus, and then
I will.
Apostate Aladdin could send that back to you as a response. You guys can communicate entirely in Norman Finkelstein diss letters.
If you stomp and bang on your bedroom floor in the morning, I will happily supply bananas. You will not be sleeping. Plaintiff mocked and denigrated the defendants and called them apes and told them they will not be sleeping that night. He wrote, too bad, apes. You're not sleeping tonight. It says they threatened to kill me when it never happened, as they say. He also accused them of being involved in Medicare and Medicaid fraud and impersonating a doctor, and that they threatened his life and the police should come and take care of them, which they say never happened, and they're not such people, and they were afraid of him the whole time. Then there is here this. You are on notice. 2 officers from the 61st precinct knocked on your door this morning and again this evening. I told them that you were inside and refused to open the door. I pointed to your car parked in front of the building. I informed them 2 times that Roberto threatened to kill me in the elevator. I also informed that Kel was involved in Medicaid fraud and impersonated a doctor. If anything happens to me, you will end up in jail. You had better stop the noise and stop threatening my life. I was advised by the officers to call 911 every time the noise starts or you threaten my life. The officer said that sooner or later you will not be able to hide anymore. And the officers apparently have no knowledge of such a conversation. And then here's this. You committed the biggest mistake of your life yesterday. I had 2 guests in my apartment, one of them a professor of criminology. They listened to the noise for 4 hours. At midnight, we all went together to the police precinct where we all spoke to several police officers. The police are now fully informed about the situation. They urged me to call 311 the moment the noise starts again. David, what is 311?
That's some different one. Like they
It
came up
is?
with some different ones. Yeah.
It's an actual thing?
I
Okay.
think so. They had the different numbers for different purposes. I guess that's
Oh,
what,
okay.
because you don't want some dispute over noise in an apartment to actually go to 911. So I think they invented some different versions of the numbers.
I also contacted Child Protection Services again. I already spoke to several of your friends in the elevator on the way to your party about you. I now know your places of employment, which I will contact this week. Here is your big problem. On Tuesday, August 18, I will contact Immigration and Naturalization
Ooh.
Services. I will inform them of young Dr. Carol's former job at the fake medical office next door run by the Russian mafiosi fake doctor. I know exactly what was really going on there. Faking a medical establishment in New York is a criminal offense and grounds for immediate deportation. Your babysitter's papers better be in order when INS pays a visit.
This guy's literally ethnically cleansing his building.
Yes, he's trying to ethnically cleanse the building here. He's saying these people are too loud. I will call immigration services to have them deported. You now have 2 days to quickly and quietly vacate the apartment. If you make any noise while moving, I will immediately contact the police again.
If you make any noise while moving, wait, you want them to vacate the apartment, take all their stuff, beds, couches, dressers, get all that stuff out of there.
Oh my God.
And not make any noise. I used to work for a moving company, a pretty noisy affair, going up and down stairs with boxes and stuff like that and carrying furniture. What a lunatic, man.
There are 2 reasons why I'm getting into this so much. One of them is he spent so much time attacking his opponents personally instead of debating. And the other thing is there's just a big irony in how this guy treats his neighbors over some noise.
Hey, Israel should just follow his example and be like, hey, Hamas, get out of there. Very quiet like. If I hear one noise, I'm dropping bombs.
Real bombs. I warned you that I knew
call the
about
United Nations on you for making noise.
I warned you that you will never win against me. You should have Googled my name, Norman Finkelstein, or gone to YouTube and entered my name.
Finkelstein!
But now it is too late. This guy's insane, man. This is literally insane. This is insane behavior.
Yeah, you've got narcissists, egomaniacs, and so on, and then they become your guy on the issue.
You are on notice that I'm reporting you tomorrow to Child Protective Services because your child is up every night until 12 a.m. I also have reason to believe illicit activities taking place in your apartment, which I will report to the police tomorrow.
Is that an actual offense? Because my 5-year-old's up to midnight pretty regularly on weekends.
You have just admitted to crimes and snitched on yourself.
No one let Norman Finkelstein hear that.
This is personally insane to me. The noise stopped for 3 days, so I didn't call Immigration and Naturalization Services. But now it is starting again. If you don't stop the noise, I'm calling the police. But this will be the last call to the police. You will end up either deported, arrested, or without your child. You decide.
Now get out of my building with all your stuff. And if I hear one noise, you're all going to Mexico. Except not your kid. Your kid will stay here and be adopted by a white family.
Without your child. This is insane, man. This is absolutely insane. And then he He bluffs again. He says, I'm giving you until August 31 to move out. If you are still in the apartment on September 1st, I will inform the NYPD of her past. It seems that she has forgotten that I was one of the young doctor's patients. I was also a patient of the Russian mafiosi doctor who had no medical equipment in the office. If you disturb me or the guests in my apartment between now and August 31, I will call the police and it will be all over for you. You decide. I don't care now if you buy 1,000 carpets. You must move out of that apartment by August 31. It's funny. This sounds exactly like him.
What would you do if he was sending those messages? Because I know I'd be wearing some boots all day long and all night long, and I'd be rotating the schedule. Me and my wife, one of us is going to be stomping on that floor all day and all night.
I would go down to his door and say, "Hey, how about we have a little conversation? How about we have a conversation? And how about
Yeah, especially the dude's name is Roberto, man. I'd be like, look, my name is Roberto. Your name is Norman. Who do you think would win in a fight?
How about no?
He does kind of sound like Jordan Peterson, doesn't he?
Is needed.
A little bit.
Without a population expulsion, a Jewish state would not have been established.
Maybe if Jordan Peterson had some, I don't know, problems, some neurological problems or something. He sounds like
What?
Sometimes I want to call him Norman Funkhauser because
that's exactly what I thought when I saw the name. I was like, it reminds me of that Super Dave. Oh yeah, Funkhauser. Finkelstein, Funkhauser.
What's his name? Bob. Yeah, here, this guy here, this dude here.
Yeah, Super Dave. Everyone knows him as Super Dave Osborne, who were around in the 80s and 90s.
I only know him as Funkhauser because of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
He used to do the so he was a comedian. Then he played a stunt guy, Super Dave. But then he started doing the Hagar commercials. Still not wrinkled.
That's funny.
And then he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's funny. That is funny.
He said he'd forget about.
I remember this. Wait a minute.
All right, finally. There it is. I cannot
Wait.
That's one of the coolest scenes ever. You got to back it up.
What?
I thought all last night, if Rabin can break bread with Arafat, I can have chicken at this anti-Semitic shithole.
So it's a Palestinian chicken place, everyone, and he shows up with a yarmulke.
The yarmulke. Yeah.
I can't go in with wearing this yarmulke.
You're just shoving it in their faces.
Let's go in.
Anyway, very funny scene from a very funny show. Let me read some super chats. Martyr Mouse said, Turkish Italian plumber in the house. Hey, I don't have that mustache anymore. What are you talking about? Rick Newton, there was once a false prophet named Momo. He liked to kill, rape, and plunder, pulling wool over Muslims' eyes. A slow death, Islam now dies. Is it any wonder the fake prophet in hell made a blunder? It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it has to be adapted to modern times more. I don't know what that means. Just wanted to say something. Raisin Bread said, please do a live stream on how Candace Owens is dangerous. The comment section of her YouTube videos are all filled with messages from well-meaning conservative Christian women who shower her with praise. I said a lot about Candace Owens. I don't know what else to say about her. What do you think, David?
Did we do a live stream on that?
We did a live stream about her because of her whole thing about Andrew Tate, defending Andrew Tate.
That was the last thing we did. We didn't do something after that.
No.
Let me check your shows.
Yes.
Insanities of Norman Finkelstein. Growing up in Israel, Islamists kidnapped 300 children.
John Joyce said Norman speaks with the same vigor and speed as two turtles having sex. Did you? Did you catch the part where he said anti-Semitism is part of the human condition? By the way, shave that damn mustache for Alan's sake. I did hear that part. There was a part where he did say that.
Unquote.
He did say something along those lines.
Unquote.
What's funny is that whole turtles having sex reminds me of a video that was zoomed in on a turtle's face in the act. It was very disturbing.
It's disturbing that you're even talking about it and that you watched it and remember it so fondly. Just hey, don't let anyone in Pakistan, in Pakistan see it, or that'll become their new thing to watch over there.
It's actually a very interesting video. You should look it up. And it's not very explicit. It's not explicit. It's not like porn or anything.
And now Pakistan leads the world in searches for turtle porn.
I don't know if it's considered porn when a turtle watches it, but it's not the same thing. But it's just like zoomed in on the face of the turtle, and it's like just the turtle making weird noises.
Yeah, we got it.
No, we need further description. In fact,
the turtle makes noises.
Let me pull it up.
I used to have multiple. I had turtles when I was growing up. Apart from a rare hissing sound, they didn't make noise.
It's different when they have sex.
Sir, why is it that if you read your book, Righteous Victims, you can read it
when they have sex? All of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, that's good.
And read it and read it and read it, as I have. You will find barely a word about the Arabs being motivated by anti-Semitism.
It exists, though.
Even I didn't say it doesn't exist.
You agree that it exists.
Hey, I don't know a single non-Jew who doesn't harbor anti-Semitic
We're talking about Arabs now.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody. That's just part of the human condition.
Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like that's a very weird statement.
All human beings hate Jews.
That sounds
it's
like
a fact.
Very weird
it's just being human, so of course it's part of everything.
Anti-Semitism.
Husseini was an ordinary
and among the Arabs.
So, Professor,
they just skipped past that, but that's a very weird thing to say, is it not?
Anti-Semitism.
Buddy, that's just part of anti-Semitic.
We're talking about Arabs now.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody. That's just part of the human condition.
Anti-Semitism.
So,
look, I don't know anybody who doesn't hate Jews and hate Mexicans living upstairs from them. It's just part of the human condition.
Anti-Semitism is part of the human condition. That's such a weird statement. I have to think about that lengthily. I know people are saying, what the hell? But yes, that's a very, very strange statement. I caught that too when I was listening to it. I still didn't go through the whole thing. I think I came as far as halfway through the debate or so. And it was already very painful. And I saw later parts because they were relevant, because they were in clips and all that. There was one thing which is very funny. This guy here, he's the calmest and most reasonable guy in this whole debate. Actually, you know what? Benny Morris is probably the most reasonable. But he makes points, very deceptive and very bad points, in a very calm manner, including something about targeting Jews versus targeting Israeli Jews.
Doesn't have a record of deliberately targeting either Jews or Israelis outside Israel and Palestine. So, you know, all this talk of...
Unlike the Hezbollah, which has...
Look, here's his response to Hamas targeting Jews.
They practice with make-believe guns and uniforms when they're 5 years old in the kindergartens of the Hamas.
At the instruction of the Commissioner General of UNRWA, right?
I didn't say that. I said the Hamas has kindergartens and summer camps in which they train to kill Jews, children aged 5 and 6.
Secondly, you keep saying Jews, to which I would respond.
They use the word Jews.
To which I would respond that Hamas does not have a record of deliberately targeting Jews who are not Israelis. And in fact...
He just burned him up. He's like, oh, you said Jew. They said Jews.
But did you hear his response here? He says they don't have a record of targeting Jews that are not Israeli. That's his response to the whole Jews thing.
Of deliberately. So I would respond that Hamas does not have a record of deliberately targeting Jews who are not Israelis.
What
Where
the
would
hell
they?
does it even mean? How in the world is this even relevant?
And where would they be doing this? Hamas is right. What do you mean? Why isn't Hamas attacking Jews? Where? I mean, obviously, if you're Hamas and you want to kill some Jews, there are some right over here. Where should they be going if they have a problem with Jews, according to him?
So, Hamas repeatedly says we're going to kill Jews.
Mm-hmm.
That says we're going to destroy the Jews, cleanse the Jews, and so on.
Because that's what Muhammad said. Muhammad did not say, "Oh, Muslims, the hour will not come until you fight the Zionists."
Yeah.
He didn't say that. He said the
But
Jews.
in response to that, this guy is like, "Oh, wait. I have a problem with that because when Hamas speaks of Jews and of targeting Jews and cleansing Jews and exterminating the Jews, I don't see any record of them ever targeting Jews outside of Israel. So therefore, we shouldn't say Jews." What? This is just such a sick way of deflecting from the point.
Yeah, imagine Israel just like bombed the entire population of Gaza, and you say, you're clearly trying to exterminate the population of the Palestinians. And you say, what? We didn't attack Palestinians in America.
Yeah.
So therefore they would never defend, they would never accept that sort of defense, but they accept it with Hamas.
This is part of the Hamas charter, where it says where they look forward to Allah's promise, no matter how long that should take. As the Prophet said, the day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews and kill them wherever they find them, and so on. But then this guy responds and is like, okay, but I don't remember Hamas targeting Jews outside Israel, so therefore we shouldn't say that this is all against Jews. This is so ridiculous. It's like, it would be funny if it wasn't so insanely, I don't know. It is genocidal. Like if you deny the existence of these terrible, horrible genocidal actions and ideas, then you are pretty much making an excuse for them and allowing them to be continued, to be carried out. It's pretty much as bad as approving of those. Pretty much. Plus, we have Hamas spokespeople obviously calling people to kill Jews, and even one of them calling people to kill Jews around the world. Upon which some in the Hamas leadership responded and said, "Oh, no. We don't agree with that entirely, because we are only for killing Jews inside Palestine, not around the world." This is so insane. Let me bring that up and see why this is no problem, apparently.
في عندكم يهود في كل مكان، يجب أن نهجم على كل يهودي متواجد في الكرة الأرضية ذبحا وقتلا بإذن الله سبحانه وتعالى. كفي تسخين خلاص.
That's what he says. We must kill every Jew around the world with Allah's help. We must slaughter them with Allah's help. Alhamdulillah, that's what he says. And then here.
وبدنا إياكم يا أهل القدس بالسكاكين امعطوا رقاب اليهود كلها هي تقف على العرق من هان.
Look. A knife costs 5 shekels. Buy a knife and sharpen it. With those 5 shekels, what does it say? With those 5 shekels, you will humiliate the Jewish state. You will spend 5 shekels on a knife and then kill a Jew. Jews have spread corruption and have acted with arrogance. His instruction here is very, very clear. People of Jerusalem, we want you to cut off the heads of the Jews with knives. But then, and this is a Hamas spokesperson here. But then this guy comes in and is like, okay, hold on. Yes, Hamas does say that and does do that. However, we can't say that they are anti-Semitic and against Jews because they haven't been targeting Jews outside Israel. What kind of a stupid objection is this? And this is just one of the many phases of these Hamas apologists.
And in fact, it also doesn't have a record of deliberately targeting either Jews or Israelis outside Israel and Palestine. So, you know, all this talk of
unlike the Hezbollah, which has targeted,
well, we're talking about
Jews outside.
We're talking about
Palestine.
We're talking about October 7th and Hamas. If you'd also like to speak about Hezbollah, let's get to that separately, if you don't mind. So again, genocidal. Well, if that term is going to be discussed, my first response would be, let's talk about potentially genocidal actions against Israelis rather than against Jews for the reasons that I just mentioned.
Which is very weird because the Hamas Charter itself explicitly speaks of eradicating the Jews, not eradicating the Israelis. St. Paul said, I want to convert to Islam, but I can't fight the urge to fornicate, drink alcohol, and pee everywhere you see.
That's what we hear from the Della guys.
Yep, that's what Daniel Choo says. Zarathustra Serpent says, hey, AP, I'm an Israeli philosopher, and I would like to come on your channel and talk to you about the connection between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. I already know the connection between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. I don't need to talk to you about this.
In your face. Thus spoke Zarathustra.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, maybe one day.
Also sprach Zarathustra. Is that better? AP?
Also sprach.
Also sprach. Sprach.
Yeah.
Zarathustra.
Call of Ghidorah said, 2 questions to AP. What separates Ibadi Muslims from Sunni or Shia Muslims? To David Wood, what do you think of Nordic paganism?
Pretty stupid. Now for you, AP.
Oh, what do you think of Nordic paganism, David?
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense. I mean, those are quite a few of my ancestors, those Vikings up there. But yeah, pretty stupid. Makes for good comic book movies, though.
You are being very Nordophobic.
I didn't even know that still existed, but it does. You actually have Odinists and so on. Anders Breivik was actually even though everyone always said, oh, if you're going to condemn terrorism committed by Muslims, then what about the Christian terrorist Anders Breivik? That dude's an Odinist.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm not sure if
I knew one in college.
But I'm not sure if they actually believe in it, even if they take those positions. You know, some people just do it because they think it's cool.
Well, some people, yeah, but some losers are like, oh, Thor.
I like Thor.
I like Chris Thor.
What separates Ibadi Muslims from Sunni Muslims or Shia Muslims? It is, I personally haven't ever studied Ibadi Muslims that much because it hardly comes up. Most people don't even know of the existence of Ibadi Muslims. But Ibadi Muslims are primarily today in Oman. In fact, in Oman, it is Ibadi Islam is the majority religion. It's a majority Islamic branch. But so people say that they are an offshoot of what was considered the Khariji or the Khawarij, those who dissented and were neither Sunni nor Shia, and who have gone their own path and all that. But that is a kind of a contested issue. What are their differences? What separates Ibadi Muslims from them? I'm not entirely sure. I think they follow most of the hadiths as authentic that Sunni Muslims also follow, but they also have their own sources. And I'm not sure if they have any differences on the whole on reading the Quran aspect. But they've always had their own leadership and didn't follow the other caliphs or imams. This might be an interesting research topic. I could sit down and look into that thoroughly and maybe talk to somebody And
we should
their view.
do something, because I've gotten requests over the years, but I've just never done it. Just like something breaking down all. I can't even say the word sex because you'll start giggling. He said sex.
He said sex. Yeah.
But like a thorough video breaking down all the different sects of Islam.
Careful. Don't say that. CCA, what about the Baha'i faith? I know very little about it. Very, very little about it. Always wanted to have someone to talk to.
Yeah,
I
find
never had
find a Baha'i guy and have him on here.
Find a Baha'i pen pal. Doorknob Head says Igto. Everybody's going their own way. That's good. Igto. Mavo92. I met you at secret Mossad Hasbara meeting in Tel Aviv. Thanks for the powerful Dawa, brothers. Take my jizya from Mitch. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I remember.
Yes, thank you for the shekels.
I remember. I couldn't see anyone's face in the meeting in Tel Aviv though, because it was all secret and it was dark. So not sure how you recognized me. Lucid says people who complain that AP should be going after Xtianity as hard as Islam because he's an atheist. It's like complaining to an oncologist that he should be practicing dentistry because he's a doctor. I see the comparison and I get it, Lucid. And despite you taking my side, I must say that I do not entirely agree on the framing here. Because I do not agree that like different religions are diseases or anything like that. In fact, I don't even agree at this point anymore that religions are, or that religions are harmful, that religions are bad or anything like that. I think that they have very, very good functions, and they are a very much appreciated and good part of societies. I wouldn't say that they are completely necessary for a functioning society, but I wouldn't make an effort to get rid of religions unless we are talking about Islam.
Yeah, you know, when you were just saying that the comparison, because back working on my dissertation, I had to study Bayesianism, and you end up studying philosophy of science in there, and then you eventually are studying various views on the relationship between science and religion, and it inevitably gets pointed out that like this started back in the 1800s. Started in the 1800s, but it really took off with the new atheists. They proclaimed what's called the warfare or the conflict model of the relationship. There's a state of warfare or conflict between science and religion. And it gets pointed out, every scholar on the planet who actually studies the issue is in favor of, supports what's called complexity, the complexity thesis. Namely, the relationship is complicated. Sometimes it could be a problematic relationship. Sometimes it could be a really good relationship. Sometimes you got an issue with Galileo. Other times the church is the one funding all the scientific research and stuff. So it's a complicated relationship. But that's similar to what you were just saying about like society. Of course, you could look and say, this religion had a problem right here, and this had a bad influence over there. But I mean, you could point to a bunch of completely different relationships. So yeah, it seems like a conflict model would the complexity model would apply there as well, that the relationship is complicated.
Yeah, that is true. And I agree very much on that. Whatever you said, I don't know if it's something good.
It was super dope. It was super dope.
Okay, then I agree with it. Zagra said, please play Finkelstein bit sets 2. No, I will not. I will in fact play him in a little bit and play it on 0.5 speed.
What's the highest you can go up to? 2?
2.
Is that as high as it goes? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Because he would be funny to listen to it like 10 times speed or something like that.
And again, I find this constant conflation of Jews, Israel, Zionism to be a bit disturbing.
From day one.
Well, to be clear, you haven't. You did a debate. I don't remember the talk show, but you seem to imply that there was a lot of crossfire and that might have been the IDF.
That's the funny thing, the comparison between.
Yeah, Destiny sounds like the Micro Machine Man as soon as he started talking.
said that there is no question, because the names were published in Haaretz, there's no question that roughly of the 1,200 people killed, 800 of them were civilians. I see 850, fine. So I never said that, but then I said, no, we don't know exactly how. 800 civilians killed, no, 850, no question there. And I also said on repeated occasions, there cannot be any doubt, in my opinion, as of now, with the available evidence, that Hamas was responsible for significant atrocities. And I made sure to include the plural.
There's a lot of tricky language being employed here. Do you think the 850?
It's called attack.
And then Destiny comes in there. What I got to do to get a 30? I'm superhuman.
He's one of the fastest talking people that do streams or videos. And what's funny is Norman Finkelstein doesn't like it. Wait, what is a motor? He called it motor talking something. What was that? Motor mouth. Yeah.
With your micro machine motor mouth. Man, if you were in my building, I would call Child Protective Services on you for that motor mouth of yours.
He said, right, there was a hotel of journalists. Do you think that they killed
more children?
Here we go.
We'll never answer that.
I will answer the question.
Pilots were out.
I will even answer
children.
And it was approved because that was a strike. That was a drone strike. So it was approved all the way up the chain that we're going to kill.
I will even answer morons' questions.
Children today. We're going to kill Palestinian
children. You want me to answer, or do you want your motor mouth to go? Okay.
You want to leave the motor running? Or can we turn it off for a second so I can speak?
Answer. In 2018, there was the Great March. Answer. You want me to answer, or do you want your motor mouth to go? Okay.
I think he did that several times, didn't he? I don't know. Maybe it was just once. Oh, here. Wait.
And atrocities, and I made sure to include the plural.
There's a lot of tricky language being employed here. Do you think of the
There's nothing
850?
tricky. It's called attaching value to words and not talking like a motor mouth.
Okay.
I am very careful about qualifying, because that's what language is about.
That's great. Then let me just ask a clarifying question. You
cracking up here.
firmly believe that the majority of the 850 civilians were killed by Hamas?
My view is, even if it were half, 400 is a huge number by any reckoning. It's
okay. Wait, you didn't.
I said even if because Professor Morris, I don't know. I agree with Mouin Rabbani. I'm not sure if he concedes the 400. I'll say.
Yeah, this is him. Then he makes references to Wikipedia all the time.
I don't believe the guy that wrote the
read
stuff.
What Wikipedia said.
That's great.
I
and you don't even speak Hebrew, and you call yourself an Israeli historian.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know Hebrew, but he calls himself an Israeli historian. That's funny.
I think, but I'm just saying. Believe it or not, Norm, the entire Geneva Convention is all on Wikipedia. It's a wonderful website.
Well, you know what?
But I'm just saying that. Ask anybody that's talked about
Wikipedia. Can you tell me
what
your knowledge of the IDF is?
You can talk to people who work in the military.
What's your knowledge?
The guy's obsessed with Destiny reading Wikipedia. That's.
It's true. I don't spend my nights on Wikipedia. I read books. I admit that as a signal.
Waste of time.
Yeah,
I spend my evenings not on Wikipedia. I spend them reading books and harassing whoever lives above me, because their stupid feet walk around, and it's annoying to me.
And
there's a simple solution for that, by the way, Norman. Get whatever building you're in, get on the top floor so no one is walking above. I'm saying that as someone who gets annoyed when I hear thump 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 thump. And so
yeah,
go. You're in a hotel or something like that, go up to the top floor.
Or just get rid of your neighbors. That's also
just have them deported.
Yeah.
Turn them into ice.
Reminds me of Get Off My Lawn. Yeah. Let's see.
I admit that as a signal.
Waste of time.
Yeah, I know books are a waste of time. With all due regard,
they are. The only thing you take from them are 2 or 3 quotes.
Andrew Tate said that books are for losers. And I have to agree.
even the American judge, she must have been awful incompetent if she was unable to see the misrepresentations that Mr. Bunnell, based on his Wikipedia entry, was able to find.
So this is based on the official ICJ report that was
Yeah,
released. I'm not sure if you read the entire thing
I
or not.
read every
Okay, that's great.
aspect.
Did you go through and actually identify any of the sources for the underlying quotes?
Actually, brace yourself for this, and Moeen could confirm it.
Brace yourself.
The guy is so full of himself. It's incredible.
Between
Oh, here it is.
you talk force of
Here, this is the
which Arafat supported.
That's what's called. That's what's called.
true.
Arafat did support it.
Arafat did
That's
support
why
it.
he makes such a shitty deal with the Oslo
It's not
Accords.
accurate. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
It's not accurate that Arafat endorsed.
Okay, I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
It's
Palestinian
called
world
under
event.
international law, use Kogan's or peremptory norms of international law, the inadmissibility of the acquisition of territory by war. That is not controversial. It's not vague. You couldn't put it more succinctly. You cannot acquire territory by force under international law.
On the West Bank before 67. Who owned the Gaza Strip before 67?
Mr. Bunnell, don't change the subject. If you don't know what you're talking about, at least have the humility. You talk about
how close
chapter
has
6.
242 gotten?
You don't know chapter
How close
6.
has 242
You don't
gotten
know
to the
chapter
Palestinians
6
to peace?
from tweet 5. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's just so embarrassing. At least have some humility. Between us, we've read maybe 10,000 books on the topic, and you've read 2 Wikipedia entries, and you start talking about chapter 6.
You see what's happening here. People cut this part here and put it as a clip out there and say, look at this. This is so good. Norman Finkelstein destroying and humiliating Destiny. Norman Finkelstein is just beginning to insult him because Destiny is asking him about the territorial changes of the West Bank, which indeed was not taken by Israel from the Palestinian people or anything like that. It was taken from Jordan when Jordan had control over that territory and annexed it and said, oh, this will now be part of Jordan. That's what was actually taking place there. And Norman Finkelstein, as soon as he is asked about these important matters, like, don't change the topic now, Mr. Bunnell, don't change the topic. You are ignorant. I have read so many books. Please go and read Wikipedia, and you cannot find this on Wikipedia. So stop distracting, Mr. Bunnell. This is just so stupid. The guy is not making a point. He's not responding to the arguments. He's not responding to anything. He's not a better debater than the layman, non-professional that Destiny is. He just relies on this. You know what's a fun fact about Norman Finkelstein, actually? He was denied tenure, I think. And I don't want to misrepresent this, but he sued the university. I think he sued the DePaul University because he was denied tenure, because they said that he cannot solve a disagreement without personally attacking his people.
Yeah.
Let's see. The rejected tenure bit. This should not have been a close case. He said in an email Sunday, Finkelstein's only academic output is ad hominem attacks on ideological enemies. And the board voted in favor of denying his tenure because he just resorts to insulting people whenever people disagree with him. It's pretty much the reasoning here. And doesn't add, other than that, to academia and education. Very, very funny. But hey, this guy is the hero the Palestinian side needs. Monitoring Hysteria said, David, can you lower your microphone just a little bit? No, you can't.
No.
Farfour said, Destiny is an ultra-crepidarian. Joe Flowmeister, Norman Finkelstein, officially a comedian now. He is, always has been. Abu Parker said David Wood referenced Seinfeld. AP, do you like American sitcoms? Seinfeld, Friends, Office, Frasier, Happy Days, or David Wood's favorite, Sanford and Son? What is Sanford and Son?
You don't
What
know
is that?
Sanford and Son, man? I
What
wouldn't
is
say
that?
it's my favorite, but
It sounds like a terrible thing. I don't
yeah, it
know.
was it was Fred G. Sanford and his son Lamont, and they ran a junkyard. This is way back in the day before you were born.
That sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, they had some of the coolest characters of all time, man. Aunt Esther, my goodness, man. You old heathen.
Sitcom is a different thing. I like certain comedy shows, not sitcoms, not the traditional sitcom. I don't know. Do you still only refer to shows that are actually sitcom, that are like shot in that specific manner as sitcom? I have two shows that I like that are comedy that I have loved over the years, and those are It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is just it's hilarious. I love it. And Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those are my two favorite comedy shows. I love them. I love them. I love them. Very, very funny. The Uralic tribe said, clip that. What a fantastic moron. Also, David, would you debate Hamza from Hamza's Den? Hamza also does regular live streams from the show Fab Hijab. We got you covered. He called AP a fruitcake.
I will debate Hamza any day he wants to. In fact, Hamza, open invitation. You want to join us live? Let us know.
I don't think he would do that.
I don't think he would either, but
to be honest, because
all we can do is extend the invitation.
I did visit him in the past, and it didn't really go very well for them.
Hey, wait, is that where they were trying to convince you that Mecca's in the Bible? Was that show?
Yes.
and that dude was like, oh, but when David was hiding from Saul, where would he go? Mecca, obviously. It's like insane.
That's this video here. I published it on my own channel. I was there for an hour and debated these geniuses. It has 380,000 views. And they just look ridiculous in their attempt at trying to argue that the Kaaba is mentioned in the Bible. So you can always go check that out. It was a very, very nice exchange. Not for them. Yes, but David said he would. And Hamza is also always welcome to join us here. We like to make friends. And I would think that he could find that we are good people to be friends with.
Yeah, enough of all the hostility. Stop whining about us and just join us live for a discussion. Pretty simple.
Yes, inshallah. Is what communist China doing to Uyghurs genocide? People call it cultural genocide. Not sure about the terminology here. Knows too much said the ICJ, much like the UN, has no credibility to judge anyone. It is completely biased against Israel from the same reasons the UN is. We'll see. We will see about that. I think it's pretty obvious. My prediction will be that is and has been that the ICJ will not conclude that that Israel is committing or allowing a genocide. It won't happen. And Israel will easily make that case. So wouldn't be too quick to make that judgment here. Blue Moon said, why they use Israel map as Palestine? Palestine is all the area, including parts of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria. Does indigenous people in America say white European colonized only part of USA and not Canada? I don't know, but Israel should be all of the Middle East, actually.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, Israel should take over
Israel
all
should
of the Middle East.
Israel should annex the entire Middle East. This just in from Apostate Aladdin. We can see here.
Pat the Goat says, poor Winkelpeen, Destiny smashed his human spleen.
Pat the Goat.
Avi Gnuth says, I'm a former IDF soldier. My first commanding officer was a Muslim. This, along with the many Muslims in the IDF and in Israel in general, may be why Israelis are against demonizing Islam. Love you both. I can see that.
Yeah, we figured that out, and our conclusion based on all of this was this, as far as the Islamic perspective, is clearly an ongoing religious war against Jews that have been going on from the time of Muhammad, and it seems that needs to be responded to. Israel doesn't want to do it because they have tons of Muslims there, and they even have Muslims in the IDF and so on. And so the task therefore falls to us. We have to deal with the religious side of things for them because they don't want to go there.
Plus, there's also the undeniable fact that Islam is a religion of peace. And
there's that too.
And with that in mind, of course, it would be inappropriate to demonize Islam.
That's what Apostate Aladdin would say.
Yeah. The Haywire 924 said Norm is a staunch apartment heights supporter. Apartment heights supporter. What an evil person. That's good. That's good. That's a good one. AP David, what are your opinions on land acknowledgements, i.e., this college grad ceremony is taking place on the traditional surrendered lands of the Apache Nation? Would Al-Anzar University say that about Coptics? I don't know. I think all lands should disappear.
Yeah, I want to go to Mars so I can actually be the first person there and maintain my land forever.
And deport anyone who comes illegally. I would just shoot everyone who tries to land on there, like immediately on site. John Joyce said, "Are you all aware of Norman's temper tantrums with his Hispanic neighbor?"
Wait, he had temper tantrums with a neighbor? Wait a minute.
Child protection services on them? Whoa.
Dude, you should investigate this.
I should look into. I bet there are some documents that I can find, public ones.
Possibly.
Huh. Interesting. I will look into this, John, and I'll get back to you. Knows Too Much said, what Bella's Nazis did on October 7th actually fit the definition of genocide. Its scale was only limited due to power. That is true. That is true. That is true.
Yeah, so what you're pointing there is the intent, when we're talking about the question of intent, the intent is to completely wipe out a group.
Yes.
They just don't have the ability. The intent.
They actually intend to wipe out the Jews, but the Jews are not having the same intent for the other side. So if you want to establish intent, Hamas would be guilty of genocide.
Yeah, so the dynamic there with Israel and Gaza is that Gaza has the intent to commit genocide, but not the ability. Israel has the ability to commit genocide, but not the intent. And since Hamas actually tries to do everything they can, Israel retaliates, and then Israel, which could easily genocide the entire population, is accused of genocide for going after the people who actually exterminated Jews.
Yeah. Somebody said October 7 was probably just a rehearsal of Gog and Magog. That makes sense. Makes sense. Gurgly Oscula says, sorry for the overly inflated currency. After watching Finkelstein, even an atheist should believe in demonic possession. What is this currency? What are we looking at? HUF. Is that Hungarian? I think it is.
You don't know anything.
Hoof. Let's see.
Yeah,
Hungarian foreign. Yes, I knew it. How could I possibly have guessed that something starting with HU is Hungarian? Wow, nobody could have figured this out. Pronote says, here comes the money. Oh, thank you.
Shekels. Shekels is now my favorite form of currency.
It is.
It even sounds cool. Shekels.
They look kind of nice too. I thought I have some here, but no.
You trying to pull out some shekels? I got some shekels.
Yeah. Where?
I'll show everyone some shekels. I'm not talking about the coins. I got the coins laying around. I'm talking about the The real shekels.
The real deal. I mean,
I'm talking about the paper shekels. What?
Ooh.
Cha-ching. You thought that was all? Wrong. What? I got all the shekels. I got all the shekels. You keyboard jihadis, I buy and sell you guys all day, every day. What? And I make it rain.
It would be nice if that was a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
What is it? 100 shekels is $27 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 70 shekels here, so.
Yeah. So calculate that for yourself. Velvet Jazz said, "Why does Finkelfart sound like someone's got his leather strap in a vise? What a jerk! It's very disrespectful, and shouldn't talk like that about goats."
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
White Lily says, "I need you guys to go on a rant in Norman Finkelstein voice. His voice is what I picture Rasulullah's messenger sound like." You don't know. I don't know. I can't really do it. I keep, when I try to do the Finkelstein voice, I keep sliding over to Jordan Peterson on accident.
Yeah, and people point out when I do a voice that it's a little in the direction of Christopher Walken, but I'm actually doing Snagglepuss from the cartoon.
Oh, that's funny. Carson Death said Norman has made a career out of Jewish self-hatred. Well, if it pays, why not? Lonnie Crow said, "Mr. Apostetti." Mr. Apostetti. Mr. Apostetti.
Giuseppe Apostetti. That could be your name, your new nickname.
Yeah, that is my nickname.
Giuseppe Apostetti.
It is actually. In your experiences with dealing with Daniel Kikuchu and Asadullah, haven't heard that in a long time. What happened to that guy? How would you compare Daniel to Asadullah? Who is more insufferable? You know what? I can't believe I say this because nobody has ever asked me to compare those two individuals. But to be honest, I think Asadullah was more insufferable than
Really?
Kikuchu. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this was years ago, and he messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, I want to debate you on blah blah blah." I don't even remember what it was, and I was like, "Sure, fine." And then he starts sending me these messages, but they're like filled with insults and stuff like this. And I'm like, because I had no clue who he was, right? So it's just like it's a random guy online who's responding like this, and then so finally I'm just like, yeah, I'm not interested, dude. We would have to at least get along to the extent to set up a debate and agree on a format and stuff. And if you just like you're trying to just start insult battles, not interested. And then he spent like the next 5 years with all his fans going, "Why are you running from Asadullah Ali? You're running from him." So yeah, don't have a particular. By the way, if people don't know who we're talking about, his claim to fame, as far as what we've seen, that was the guy that we played the clip multiple times. That was the guy who said that he's talked to hundreds of Muslims in madrasas and mosques and so on who actually are only pretending to be Muslim. They're actually closeted ex-Muslims. He said they're people who've memorized the Quran, and they're coming up to him saying, "I don't really believe in this stuff." That was that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I've been attending a number of MSAs and youth organizations, and some of the things that the Muslim youth approach me with have not only been shocking, but at the same time enlightening. So I wish to share some of those stories with you, and then we can go into the substance of this lecture. So one of the more shocking things that I have experienced over the course of those years are the number of young boys and girls aged between 13 to 18 who have openly declared their apostasy to me. And I'm talking within the hundreds. Okay. However, at the same time, they have also declared to me that they are copies of the Quran. They are leading prayers to the masjid.
They're leading prayers. They don't believe it.
Right? And they are still leading that life while simultaneously declaring their apostasy. Now, of course, they're not open about it, but they've shared it with me because of their concerns. They don't
You
understand.
know what's messed up about this?
Mm.
As much as I like to believe this and use this to say, look, even this guy is saying so many people are leaving Islam. There's also the issue that I know this guy because I interacted with him and I had quite the history with him publicly and privately. And he might just be like extremely inflating the issue and making up like details just to attract more attention or to present himself as important, as knowing about things nobody else knows, and so on.
Yeah, he could.
That's the thing about this issue here. When
Yeah,
he says,
he could be. In other words, there's no question that there are lots of closeted ex-Muslims. I mean,
yeah,
you're talking what, 24% as of several years ago, 24% apostasy rate among young Muslims. Now, some of those would be would just tell their families, hey, I don't believe in this stuff anymore. But a lot of them, because of cultural pressures and family pressures and so on, would keep that quiet. The question is, are they running up to this guy and telling him about it? I say maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I could see doubting what this guy says just because dawah is basically compulsive lying.
yeah, and I messaged with this guy a lot, like in private. He was telling me that that he really loves me and things like that. So, and then
Yeah,
then
this
attacking me
guy
again.
messaged me and he's like, he told me in confidence. He said, actually, I'm a secret apostate, just trying to scam. The point we're making is it's easy to just say stuff, right? It's easy to just say.
Okay,
stuff.
but I'm serious. He actually did tell me that he one day said something very weird to me, which is that
I love your mustache.
No, he said like one day I sent him
It's like a fireman.
He publicly called me names and was like, "Oh, he is this and this. I bet he's telling people not to talk to me. And he's a pompous this and this and that." And all I did in response to that was just send him a YouTube video to the soundtrack of the old show, Care Bears.
And he responded, "That is my favorite show. I have always pictured myself as a heart bear with the power of heart."
See, he was insulting me. He was actually going on this whole rant and insulting me to other people in public, and I just sent him the link to Care Bears, which goes like, "I want to be a Care Bear, a Care Bear." And later he messaged me, and he said he actually really likes the Care Bears. He did actually respond with that, and I'm serious. I'm not making this up. He actually responded by saying that he likes the Care Bears, and he appreciates it, and he can relate to it when I send it to him. So it's a very strange person. But then later he says he hates me and he wishes I died.
I have.
So
I had two parents. One made me watch Care Bears. The other made me watch Palestinian children's TV. So.
Can you imagine if Care Bear was like the Palestinian TV? Like if the Care Bears were like Farfour.
Hey, we should. Hey, it's a cartoon. We could take some clips and like dub it to make it Palestinian children's television.
We could totally work on that. All right. Anyway, let's get rid of this weirdo here. Yes.
I'm Terror Bear.
I'm Jihad Bear. I like jihad.
But they're all versions. Like there's Rape Bear, like Terror Bear, Genocide Bear. It's like
man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Anyway, so Messianic Bonerisms became a YouTube member. It's a very nice name. Thank you so much, and welcome to join the club. Farfour became a member. No, Farfour didn't become a member. Farfour is already a member. And said Norm talks like the kid that gets called on to read for the class. Yeah, pretty much. White Lily became a member. Weren't you already a member? I'm pretty sure you already were a member, White Lily. But welcome to the club. Eden Baum became a YouTube member. Welcome to the club, Eden. Welcome to the cult. Now people are making Care Bear jokes. Care Bear stare. Crimson Jihad Bear. Abdul Bear.
You don't even remember Crimson Jihad. That was from True Lies. That was back when the terrorist in your movie could actually be jihadis. Can't do that anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
You should watch True Lies. We are Crimson Jihad. We will bring America to its knees. I got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Plain hijack bear. Oh, here's a funny one. Care Bear.
Care Bear. The Care Bear bunch.
Grape Bear. Yeah. The Terror Bears. Black Angel posted the German lyrics of the Care Bear song. That's how I first heard it, because I grew up in watching Care Bears in Germany. Like, ich möchte ein Glücksbärchen sein, das wäre wunderbar. Ein Glücksbärchen sein, das ist doch sonnenklar. I loved it as a child. Ness Evans says Finkelstein looks like a demon-possessed satanic person. AP, please ask David to bring a big cross and some holy water. Why would I ask him? Okay, I just read it out. David, are you going to do anything about this or no?
I will kick that demon out of him like he kicks his Mexican neighbors out of his building.
That's good. That's good. Matt says, love AP's German, so based. What is based about speaking German? Is it because you think it sounds like the Nazis?
It's a pretty base language.
Yeah.
I've said multiple times before, I think that like people's like cultural personalities have something to do with like how strong their language is. And that when you got these guys going against these other guys who are like, I can like tell you who's going to win.
Yeah. Zabuba Bear, Goat Bear, Mutar Bear.
From the Muta Man.
Child Marriage Bear.
Yeah, pedophile bear. Pedo bear.
Golden Showers Bear. Oh my God. Aisha's Bear, Pedo Bear, Jizya Bear.
Semen Stains Bear.
Semen
Scraping Bear, yes.
Dawa Bear, Muhammad Bear. What Trajectory Bear?
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Oh, my wife said Finkel Bear. Hey, that's good. Tequila Bear. Child Bride Bear. Satanic Verse Bear. The Scare Bears. People are having fun here. Movies Bear.
that would be the girl bear.
Oh man. Tech Bear. All right. This is too much fun. I'm enjoying this too much here.
We need animators, man. We need animators to
Hijab Bear. Barbarians.
Burka Bear.
Flying Donkey Monster Bear. That's the Barack Bear. Halal Bear. Leather Strap Bear. Anyway, John Choi said, fun fact, I went to the same college as Finkelstein. Anyways, that's not important. What's important is you must get rid of that disgusting mustache. That's very disrespectful, and it's frankly hate speech.
It is.
It is indeed.
We thought Norman Finkelstein was bad, and here this guy's talking trash.
Yeah. Indeed. AP saw your History Speaks debate. He dishonestly denied Jews being indigenous to the land while giving migrants, invaders from surrounding lands who imposed Arabic Islamic imperialism indigenous status.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
It went good. I was a little bit disappointed. So the thing is, when I prepared for the debate, I was writing an outline, but then at some point, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to write this outline. So I just put it aside, but took all of the notes and sources that I had into a separate document and just prepared those and thought, I'm just going to go into this and see what he says. So I went into it and I expected him to actually make a case because the guy chased me for months. I was like, why are you not debating me? Why would you debate someone as stupid as Daniel Hikachu when you could debate me instead? Are you scared?
Who's history? I mean, I've heard of Daniel Hikachu. Lots of people have. Do people know who History Speaks is? I'm not familiar.
Nobody knows who History Speaks is. He's some random person who has a channel that has 5,000 subscribers or so, and he was really
who is he? Is he atheist, Muslim, what?
He is. I'm not sure what his beliefs are. He's not a Muslim, but he is very pro-Palestine and says Israel is committing a genocide. And he says, you are disgusting for approving of this genocide. But we had a debate and I expected him to actually bring a strong case. And it was very, very disappointing because his opening speech was just, half of it was just repeating things that Israelis said at some point after October 7. And then like, innocent people are dying.
And as Norman Finkelstein has declared,
I have to say the guy was nice. He was good. He stayed
good
on topic, and he was not a terrible person. So I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was just kind of an easy debate, and that's it. Sedani the Elliscan said Norm MacDonald. Norm Finkelstein. Oh, laughter. Norm Finkelstein's sad face. That's true. Jeremy Mott said 311 is how you ask for help without getting emergency services involved. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. Wait a minute. I forgot about that. No offense, David, but AP does a better Finkelstein impression.
Bull.
I listen to the guy all day, so I'm kind of in the mood for it. That's why. The perfect bear. Hostage taking bear, Dawa bear. This show is good shit. I know it is. That's why
tunnel building bear. Tunnel bear.
Apartheid occupation bear. Clementine. Apostate bear. He's the one who gets his head cut off in every episode. Carifers Destiny called him a dumbass. He also said more about Finkelstein. What's funny is Finkelstein is just insulting Destiny the whole debate long, and Destiny is just being like, just laughing it off, smiling, and just saying, just answer the question. Come on, why not answering this? Why about this? And at some point, he was like, okay, come on, Twinklestein. He called him Twinklestein. Like that was the only insult I think that happened, and later he did call him Finkeldick, to be honest, but I'm not sure if it happened during the debate or later. Human shield bear. My wife said Jew bear.
No, that was from Inglorious Bastards.
Yes. Inglorious Bastards. That's
true. Inglorious.
That was pretty good. Jeremy Mott. Jean Choi said, Jeremy Mott said Norman Finkelstein is a coward. Yeah. He's running from David Wood. Rick Newton said, Finkelstein is modern day Momo. Expect almost as slow and brain deficient. The morals are great either. Yeah. Fatwad said, David Wood, your impression is straight up Christopher Walken. Also, this guy is literally Mr. Heckles from Friends, guy who makes noise complaints. I've never seen Friends.
It's not Christopher Walken. I said it. It's Snagglepuss. Snagglepuss just happens to sound a bit like Christopher Walken.
I don't even remember what Christopher Walken sounds like. This is Apartmentide. Norm sounds like a slow Jordan Peterson. Yeah. You mean as in speaking slowly, right? Now call him Norman Redfink. That's pretty bad. Pretty disrespectful. Velvet Jazz said David Snaggletooth, the lion imitation. Knows too much. Pro-Palestinists are terrible people. Shocker. Can't say that. Robert Michaels, not to go off track, but have you seen the Muslim cowboys? Latest community post. It's a little like the pod calling the kettle black. The Muslim cowboy? I'm not paying attention. No Muslim cowboy.
Have not seen it, but I love that guy. He doesn't have, I don't know, he doesn't have what it takes to be a super popular Dawa guy, but he has the ability to be a good second tier guy, like Fareed and Sajid and so on, the second tier guys.
Apparently he made a joke about Hindus and sexual assaults, which is very, very ironic, considering that he speaks for the Muslim communities.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, that's all I see here. Anyway, Michelle B said Norman's political coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Political coffee talk. Welcome to Political Coffee Talk with Norman Finkelstein, me.
Love your videos. Thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate it. Lord Stannis said that's like saying Nazis never targeted U.S. Jews. That's true. That's true. Seriously, you could make that comparison. Gustavo Lerner made a super chat. Thank you so much. Jesse Grove. In times like these, we need Sir Dr. Whitemeat. Where's Sir Whitemeat? I don't know. Parfour the Foul says, I stopped watching Jimmy Dore because of his take on Israel after 10-7. He always had Finkelstein, Aaron Maid, and Max Blumenthal. Yuck. I was center left. Now I'm center right. I fear for the West. Who's Jimmy Dore? Yeah. Whoever that is. Yes. Lonnie Crow said, Rabbani is the perfect Palestinian. He speaks eloquently and provide Westerners the polite Palestinian that they could make peace with. That's the problem. CJ, AP, please share these links when live in the drop-down box too. It's difficult to find some. AP, you are so loved in my family, praying for both. Thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. Very, very, very much. Very nice. Thank you. That means a lot. But I don't know what links you're talking about. I don't use links.
I looked up Jimmy Dore. I am not familiar with him.
I don't use links. When I want to look up something, I just think about it and then it shows up. That's how embedded I am in the internet. Kathius said, please stream with Loai El Sharif. Interesting guy. I did interact with him before. I might just invite him and talk to him as well. Loney Crow, Rabbani is the perfect Palestinian. Didn't I just read this? Huh. Ness Ivan, AP, try talking to Yosef Haddad. He's an Israeli Arab Christian from Nazareth. We absolutely love him. You can see some of his stuff on YouTube. I did try to connect with him and meanwhile know a bunch of people who know him that I'm in contact with, and I guess I could put more effort into that, to be very honest. I will see. I will try. I will see. Obi Wood and Apasta Mario. No one wanted this war except Iran and their cronies. This is true. This is true.
That is, guys, and don't ever forget that. So Hamas had its goals and so on. Saudi Arabia was about to normalize relations with Israel. That is the worst thing in the world to Iran. So Iran pulled the trigger on the terrorist attack. And everyone blames the Jews.
The Jews. Of course you blame the Jews. Why are you saying Iran? Aren't Americans supposed to say Iran?
Iran. He threw Iraq, so Iran.
Yeah. Iran. The bald guy was decent. Norman acted like a child. He is kind of a child a little bit. Vlad Tepish. Hey, what's up, Vlad Tepish? Nice thing that you did back there. Norman Finkelstein sounds so annoying. Soon he'll say the Jews should have just moved when the Austrian painter took over. Jesse said David Wood sounding like a little Christopher Walken. Choose more cowbell. Yeah.
I gotta have more cowbell.
Atheist says Norman Finkelstein, Judenrat. Oh my god. Yeah. Blue Moon, few shekels for David Wood's Jew accent. 5 silver pesos made a super chat of $50. Said instead of saying I've read 10,000 books, he should have said I drive a Dodge status. Maybe instead of saying I read 10,000 books, he should have acted like he read 10,000 books, or should have acted like he's accurately representing 10,000 books, or like he's...
Wait, 10,000? This can only refer to the number of soldiers that Muhammad entered Mecca with.
Oh, that's insane. That's cool.
This is a prophecy.
That is cool. That's pretty cool. Wait a minute. I wanted to look at that thing a little bit more. Why Palestinians reject the partition plan? And I don't even want to talk about... See, it just automatically goes to Jordan Peterson. I start doing the Canadian thing when I try to speak like Norman Finkelstein. Where did the debate go? Norman Finkelstein. I kind of get annoyed when people pronounce it this way, in the English way, and call it Finkelstein or Goldstein or
Finkelstein.
Finkelstein. Or it's Goldstein or Einstein. How do Americans say Einstein's name? How do you say it? Albert Einstein. How do you say it?
Einstein.
That's how you say it?
That's how I would say it.
Okay. I will allow it. I will allow it. Doesn't sound too bad. Okay, let me get back to that stream here. Just because I can. Let's see how many views it has now. 1.4 million views.
Palestine.
Not too bad.
The Arabs will get in 37 most of Palestine. In 1947, the ratios were changed, but we can live side by side with each other.
People in the chat, in the comments, Silverstrom said, "What an unfairly set up debate. How is Norm supposed to take on Mr. Bonnell, Mr. Bernelli, Mr. Morelli, and Mr. Borrell at the same time?" I'm glad that this was hosted in the 1970s airport interrogation room. Really adds to the international politics feel. It does look like that, right?
Yeah,
in a partitioned Palestine. And this was the essence of it.
Why is the stupid text on here? Get on my face, man.
This room is as plain and boring as Lex Friedman's suit.
Yes. Okay.
Hamas compound that they had operated from. They literally did. You can Google it. You can
Mr.
Google
Borelli,
it.
with all
Mr.
due
Finkelstein.
with all due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrible.
With all due respect, you stupid, ignorant moron. And I say this with nothing but respect, you giant idiot.
Stephen Bonnell.
Okay. Mr. Bonnell referred to cherry picking and handful of quotes.
Here.
Believe me, I'm a lot more literate than you, Mr. Borelli.
I'm going to believe the guy that wrote the stuff.
Mr. Borelli.
Wikipedia says.
That's great.
All right, next one.
Bonnell, Mr. Bonnell, I attach value to words.
Yes, you said that.
When
You value. They literally did.
Mr.
You can
Borelli,
Google it. You can
Mr.
Google
Borelli,
it.
with all
Mr.
due
Finkelstein.
respect, with all due respect.
Wait, what is Destiny saying there?
Literally,
Mr.
you can
Borelli,
Google it. You can
Mr.
Google
Borelli,
it.
with all
Mr.
due respect, with all due respect.
What is Destiny saying, Mr. Finkelstein?
Finkelstein or something?
They literally did.
Mr.
You can Google
Borelli,
it. You can
Mr.
Google
Borelli,
it.
with all
Mr.
due respect, with all due
I don't know what he's saying. It sounds like Finkelstein.
Finkelstein, yeah.
due due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrifying. That wharf was filled with.
You
see, the problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language.
I mean, he's obviously doing this on purpose, right? It's no way that you say Bonell, Borelli, Bonelli, Forelli, Morelli.
It is
Mr.
a highly
Forelli,
special intent.
I'm going to ask.
Highly special intent. Did you read the case?
Yeah.
It is
Mr.
a highly
Forelli,
special intent.
I'm going to.
He is saying Mr. Forelli. Like, how do you possibly do that by mistake? Man.
Money.
It's not this, whatever this making money off the conflict is, the actual alternative. The actual
Destiny
alternative.
should talk about making money off
your
of
media blitz,
idiocy.
where you go and talk to 50 million different people
your
about your
earlier
awesome
point.
But
solution.
he has
right?
a point there.
The issue is you have
All
to
these
negotiate.
resolutions have gotten the Palestinians no
Nothing.
closer
Yeah, but hold on
to
a
a
second.
state.
Because they haven't
your
been
earlier-
enforced because
He actually said destiny for the first time. There was a. Go ahead. It looks like you want to say something.
No,
Just say it.
I was just going to say density.
Oh yeah.
He should have called him. He should have called him density to keep the streak going.
There was a thing. There was a. I think long before this debate, Finkelstein was interacting or was emailing Destiny, and he referred to Destiny, or he made a tweet, I think, and said something like, "This thing called Destiny," or something like that. I don't know. I think that's what he said. Is that what he said? This thing called Destiny? I think some people know about this. This guy is just unhinged, crazy. A thing called Destiny. Yeah, okay, he did say that. I just don't know where it is.
Tell me what they
Here's
said. Don't
something,
just- don't just tell me a
Mr.
sentence.
Bennell.
Tell me by what
Mr.
metric.
Bennell,
He's not going to answer again.
I don't think I've avoided any of your questions
you have.
except
You avoid almost
except
every
when they
question.
breached the threshold of complete imbecility.
You're about to tell me
I've
by what
answered.
metric
So,
the Gaza Strip is
okay,
a
I'm going to
humanitarian
answer you.
crisis.
You remember what I said a moment ago? I said to Professor Morris, I defer to expertise. I look at what the organizations say. I look at what the United Nations High Commissioner
Just
for
say in
Human
more
Rights
words
said.
that you don't know. You don't
And
know
I
or you
don't
don't care.
know.
Okay,
I don't
that's
know.
fine.
Do you know how complicated? Have you ever investigated how complicated is the metric for hunger, starvation, and famine? It is such a complicated metric they figured out. If you asked me to repeat it now, I couldn't do it.
And yet we.
And yet he went on Twitter to claim that Gaza is on the brink of a famine. And then to support that, made a post about that child that died because of a cerebral palsy. Not even kidding. That's what Norman Finkelstein actually did on Twitter. And just so I don't misrepresent him.
By the way, I still see that claim every day, AP.
I know. Here, let's see. The other day, I participated in a debate with Israeli professor Benny Morris and that thing called destiny. Oh yeah, here he says it. That thing called destiny. They mocked the notion that Gaza was verging on famine. And then he posts this. A photo of a child that is suffering from malnutrition. Not because the child was completely healthy before this war and then had nothing to eat left because of the war and therefore turned into this. No, it is because the child suffers from cerebral palsy and given the circumstances is not given the proper medical attention and special food that it requires and has now died, which is a very, very sad and tragic thing. Does this, however, support the idea that there is a famine or that it's on the verge of a famine? No, it's not. It doesn't. It does not at all. And which is why I also refuted this. Plus, There is, by the way, another such hoax that is going around, which came up recently, about which that guy Suleiman Ahmed posted, and it had like 85,000 likes the last time I checked. And they post another image of another child and say that this child is starving because of systematic starvation imposed by Israel. I just did like a little bit of research, just looked it up. Very sad situation. I looked it up. But you know what I found? Very, very quickly there. So the child suffers from cystic fibrosis, which is a genetic disease that leads to malnutrition and dehydration, a genetic disease. And the other thing that I found out about this is directly from the Palestinian source here. Child Fadi has been in hospital for 2 months, receiving necessary intravenous solutions and having a fumigator device that opens the respiratory tract. The exhausted mother sits next to her child with signs of sadness and anxiety obvious on her face, fearing the loss of her child. The mother was overwhelmed with fatigue and exhaustion out of concern over the health challenges that face her child, as she recalls the pain of loss she went through after losing her 2 children who died of the same disease in the past years, which makes the ordeal increase the burden of her suffering and anxiety. You see what it says here? This is a Palestinian side that is directly in touch with the family of this child, that is depicted here and used as argument, as proof that Israel is systematically starving the children of Gaza. This article clearly here says that this child had 2 other brothers that suffered from the same condition, and they died over the years, meaning before the war, from malnutrition or dehydration because of cystic fibrosis. So, as sad as it is, obviously it doesn't have much to do with the war. However, these people use the suffering of their own children as propaganda to accuse Israel of killing children, of starving the population, of committing a genocide, and so on. It's just sick to lie about your own children, to lie about your own people when they suffer, and to use them for propaganda instead of working toward a future where you actually take care of those damn children. Call of Ghidorah said, is what Rabbani says regarding Hamas accepting international investigations and Israel refusing it true? Pretty sure it's not true. He was arguing that Hamas called for the October 7 events to be investigated, and Israel refused it. That's not true. That's not true. No such thing happened. Plus, Israel is currently working with the UN to actually have a full-fledged investigation into sexual assault cases on October 7. Valerie D said, just finished watching Ayan on Winston Marshall's show. For your information, she's writing a book on her conversion, learning Bible, and will be having a conversation with Dawkins on religion in May, not just cultural conversation. Interesting. That sounds like something David will hop on and say, you see?
Oh, I definitely will.
David will say, you see?
Atheism crumbling from within, crumbling faster than Dawa. The avalanche of apostasy from atheism.
Atheism. Can you imagine being a stupid atheist?
No. Can you imagine science has proven that once you become an atheist, your brain literally shrinks to the size of a donkey's brain.
Really?
And that's why everyone calls them donkey-brained atheists.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's true, though.
There you have it. Science proved it. And if you're going to debate this or object to this, send an email to David Wood and ask him for a debate on this topic. B.Apologetics said, since the Quran purifies everything, sending it to Mars will instantly turn Mars into paradise with flowers and 72 space virgins. Hear that, Elon? Huh? I didn't know that. That's a good idea.
You think we'll see someone on Mars in our lifetime, AP?
Maybe we should send everyone to Mars. Will we see someone? I don't know. I think I want to go to Mars and live there.
That'd be an interesting question. Like, if you could go to Mars and be the first person on Mars, but they can't get you back and you're just going to die there after a couple days, would you do it?
I would.
I would totally do it in a second.
I would totally
be awesome.
Because I want to go to Mars and I want to remember that moment forever, which is why I would totally agree to going to Mars and then dying there after a few days. Yeah. Reason and logic. NN said, David, I want to debate you on Jesus.
Well.
Or, David, I want to debate you on Jesus. I don't know what it actually refers to here. What do you think, David?
Yeah, get in line, way in line.
Yeah. Knox says, you see, this is proof David Wood is paid by Mossad. Yeah.
I mean, we only brag about it constantly. What more proof do you need?
At this point, we are acknowledging it completely. Like, what is...
We are fully funded by Mossad.
Mossad created this channel.
Years ago. I'm talking way back. D. Wood was still in prison. I got approached by Mossad agents, said, hey, here's the plan. They laid out the plan. I followed it. Fortunately, they were working with AP as well.
I knew it.
And now we're just following orders, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. That's how David and I got in contact, because they were like, hey, we have this other guy who's also doing something similar. How about you guys connect so that it becomes more effective?
And then we need you guys to have a real super dope live streams. And we're like, well, that we can do.
And they said, don't tell people that you're working for us. But David and I were like, sorry, can't promise. And that's who we are. That's what we are.
Yeah, because even though we're fully funded, this isn't enough shekels to keep our mouths closed.
Yeah.
Right? So you gotta double the shekels. You want to keep this stuff secret.
That's true. It's too late now. Pat the Goat said, Winkle Cream is justified in fighting his Mexican neighbors. Needs their chicken as jizya. Word is he planning to land in their yard with an umbrella. Whoa. That sounds like dangerous stuff. Flame of Prometheus says, just tuned in and first thing I hear, Palestinian kids show. What in the farfoo did I just walk into?
Palestinian children's television.
Yeah. Roti Piper said, David enjoyed your video on Paul versus Muhammad.
You ain't the only one. It's a dope video.
Hey, David Wood, on the stream you had with Harris Sultan. What is he Sultan about? You said that you might create videos about the manipulation tactics of the Dawa guys. Please do.
I didn't say manipulation tactics about the Dawa guys. I just said manipulation tactics, because people need to be aware of them. But yes, the Dawa guys, they only basically use two, right? There are more tactics than that. The Dawa guys is just pretty simple. If you do what they want, they shower you with praise, and if you don't do what they want, they shower you with insults and abuse and threats, and that's it. What?
I just got sent something from Destiny. The Destiny posted where he responded to Norman Finkelstein's tweet about him, where he calls him that thing called Destiny. Destiny just made a response to that of himself. That just looks so ridiculous.
Where is it? Is it on his Twitter page?
Yeah, I found it. So here is Norman Finkelstein says, the other day I participated in a debate with Israeli professor Benny Morris and that thing called Destiny. They mocked the notion that Gaza was verging on famine. And Destiny posts this in response.
Oh, yeah. No, I saw that before.
Man, this guy. Chantal Kohanzad said, "Do you guys?" This is the thing. It's the thing. It's what is that? Is that from that thing or that thing? It's from the thing, I think.
You're talking about the
Anyway,
movie, The Thing.
yeah.
I don't know. It looks different, but I think they remade this. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, David Wood, on the stream you had with Harris Sultan, why were you Sultan the whole time? Chantal Kohanzad said, "Do you guys know who Dennis Prager is?" Nope, never heard of Dennis Prager. Would love to see you guys on his show. Which show? I would assume that he has a show named Prager U or something like that,
Yeah,
just because it sounds like something that somebody named Dennis Prager would do, although I have no idea who Dennis Prager is. Thank you for everything you guys do. No, thank you. Thank you, Chantal. Not us. Thank you. David, what would you say about joining someone whose name happens to be Dennis Prager and who probably has a platform named PragerU?
Yeah, you guys are talking to the wrong ones. If someone invites me to something, there's a chance I'll do it, but I don't go out like seeking it. So if you're saying, David, go try to be on Dennis Prager show, no, I tend to stick with people like that I know who are my friends. That's who I usually roll with.
Yeah. I
Now, if you're a narcissist like AP, then you definitely want to go out there because I get more fame and more attention.
David is not like that. David is like he once got contacted by a big celebrity, and his response was like, "I would rather stick to making live streams with AP." So yeah, David is based.
That sounds like you would.
Yeah. One day he was invited by the great scholar Kim Kardashian, and he said, "I would rather do something with AP, despite his lower status."
That's correct.
Yeah, this is how humble David Wood is.
Mm-hmm.
Gwyneth Isaacs said. Gwyneth Isaacs said, "Infowars lost cred with me for Gaza support and Finkel." Why would you ever support Infowars to begin with? And I know there are people in the chat now who will say, "What, Infowars is good? What, Alex Jones is good?" No, it's stupid.
And to prove to you how good I am, get on Kanye West right when he's like full blown mental. Kanye, tell us what you think about Benjamin Netanyahu.
And then I will act like I had no idea he would do this, and I would act like I have nothing to do with any of this, although I am the one who set up Kanye West.
Oh, Kanye, you're making some excellent points right there, Kanye. This is exactly what everyone's on the same page here.
It's funny. Behind the scenes, apparently, Alex Jones is the one who was like in touch with Kanye West, and he connected him to Milo, and Milo connected him to Nick Fuentes, just because he was aware of Kanye West's extremely anti-Semitic adventure that he began. But then when they did a show together and Kanye West said the most insane things, Alex Jones was acting like, "Oh, this is too much." He knew it. He knew all of it. He set it up. And that's just the person that Alex Jones is. Like, I don't care where you stand on any of this, on this culture war or whatever it is. Alex Jones has never been a serious and never been an honest person, and is very much a fraud.
You see, we
without due respect.
Hey, we sit there and respond to Apostate Aladdin, but you hate everyone who's popular, man. Candace Owens.
Excuse me.
That's super smart lady. And now Alex Jones.
Excuse me. I don't hate everyone who is famous. I just hate everyone. Period. Don't misrepresent me.
I'm sorry.
Don't misrepresent me, Mr. Wool.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm acting like a total apostate Aladdin, misrepresenting everything you said.
Yeah. Mr. Wool, please. Man, Knox says these jihadi bears remind me of the Happy Tree Friends character like Flippy, who would see blood and become homicidal. Hey, somebody who knows about Happy Tree Friends. That's amazing.
Never heard of that one.
It's so messed up.
Oh yeah.
I found that when I was
this green thing looks nice, but then it has this evil look over here. So I'm guessing.
Did you Google Happy Tree Friends?
Yeah, I looked up Flippy.
I found out about Happy Tree Friends when I was in school, and
Flippy is one of the main characters of Happy Tree Friends. It's spin-off series Ka Pow, and
it's so
a
messed
playable
up.
character in some video game.
It's so messed up. It starts out like a very cute kids show, and then it just turns extremely violent and bloody. it's so messed up. That's Knox is a person of culture. Appreciate this. Respect to you, Knox, for bringing this up. Not everyone knows Happy Tree Friends. You deserve an award. I salute you. The Crafter 154 said, "What is your beef with Aladdin?" I don't have a beef with Aladdin.
Why are you starting beef with Aladdin?
I liked Aladdin when I was a child. That was actually one of the few Disney things that I liked. And I had the Nintendo game that I played even of it, and I also liked the movie in general. And I was generally not interested in all the Disney movies, but I liked Aladdin.
I think Gilbert Godfrey played the bird in that movie, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't big on cartoons. I mean, like Transformers and GI Joe and stuff like that. But the nice Disney ones wasn't. I think I saw The Lion King and I saw parts of Aladdin. But yeah, I remember him going, "Oh, that's a surprise! I'm gonna have a heart attack and die because of that surprise." I thought it was funny.
That guy has an interesting sense of humor if you listen to it. Michael says, so yeah, no issues with Aladdin. I like Aladdin. I just don't like I haven't watched the
I'd have to watch the entire thing to decide if I have beef with that movie.
But I haven't watched the live action movie that came out with Will Smith. But
yeah, that one might be a banger.
Yeah, I don't know. Michael said, "Stupidity of the pro-Palestinian crowd is still shocking me. Choose the cow." Inshallah, I will do. Goat Hub says, "Why are you talking about Care Bears when you can get a goat to care for you?" Whoever is behind Goat Hub here, it has the best advertisement ideas. I mean,
this makes me want to click on Goat Hub.
The funny thing is, all jokes aside, whoever is jokingly running this account and making these advertisement statements,
it was legitimately funny. Yes,
you actually have the potential to advertise.
You could be a good
stuff.
Yeah. If you do not currently have a job in advertising, you should get one.
Yeah, definitely. Gwyneth Isaac said, "Allahu Akbar." Yeah, this is true. This is true. I saw it with my own eyes. Knox, no need for an animator. Just use a program to make still images talk. Won't be great, but it's easy. Jihadi Bears sounds like a fun project. You could also just take scenes from the Care Bears and just
we could dub those.
Do voiceover. Yeah, definitely. Joshua Wooden, Mr. Wooden, says Finkelstein's voice sounds like the Family Guy orange-haired Jewish pharmacist Mort, so the anti-Semitic person that Finkelstein is looks bad. SMH. I don't remember the characters and their names because I never really watched never really watched episodes through. But yeah, it's probably true. Probably true. Stop the Jewish bears from stealing the spice. Yeah, that's true. Mr. Boss, my wife said yes, thank you. Apparently she knows. I can't remember. She will probably show me later. So that's that. Miriam Amar said, "Honestly, what happened to Hottentosh?" And this is related to Macintosh as well. But what happened to Hottentosh?
Currently none of your business, Miriam.
NOYB.
If Hatun says, "Hey, leave her alone," and people don't, I gotta respond accordingly.
That was an NOYB. See, I had to check for a second if I if I used it correctly. Leave the Martians alone, okay? Sheesh. That was Jordan Peterson. Yossi Kenner, I am trying a new argument on the Gaza war. Hamas killed 1,200 in one day, and Israel has killed around 200 per day of the war. If the trajectory continues, which army should be in charge? Huh. This is a good question. I have to think about that further. This is a serious topic, though. Nox says, please do videos on manipulation. Good stuff.
I might.
Don't.
Yeah, matter of fact, I will probably I'll probably make one here pretty soon and just see if people are interested. And if they are, then I will break down every manipulation tactic known to man so that people can become hard targets and not fall for.
You see, David acts like he's all tough and he would never cry. Then he admits that he will break down. Yeah. You see. You see what's happening right here in front of our faces. He admitted it right here and people will still deny it. John Choice said at 1:25:57 of the debate, Finkelstein, hey, I don't know a single non-Jew who doesn't harbor anti-Semitic sentiments. Oh yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, I think it was actually you who made that comment earlier. That's a good part to look at. I would sit down and review the whole debate if it wasn't 5 hours long. The debate was actually 4 hours and 57 minutes.
Gosh. Yeah, that's how I wanted to go through the Jake versus Jay Dyer debate. Well, that wasn't nearly as long. I think it's probably 2 hours and then Q&A.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I was thinking I'd like to get a couple people involved in commenting and stuff and go through that entire debate. But yeah, 5-hour debate. How are you going to do that, man?
I would watch something from Jay Dyer because the guy has an interesting way to put things. But watching Jake is like, this is just torture. It's torture. Just watching a bunch of fallacies put together into one person. And
but I put metaphysician in my title, so you know I'm smart.
He goes to McDonald's every day and eats fallacies, the fallacy burgers. Cars in Depth said, did you try Sabish while in Israel? How do you say that? I don't even know how you say it. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we ate it like that sandwich shop and stuff, and we're eating things, but I don't know what Sabish is because sometimes we're just pointing at stuff saying, hey, give us that. And lots of times people don't speak English and stuff. So I'm not sure of everything that we ate.
I think it's
but I'm
actually
looking it up.
Sabich. Is that it? I think it's Sabich.
It looks like some sort of
is a
it's
sandwich of
a kind of pita
or
sandwich.
bread stuffed with fried eggplants. Fried eggplants? No. Hard-boiled eggs, salad,
hummus,
parsley.
Pickles, farmer salad. We had quite a bit of that stuff stuffed into some of our sandwiches, but not that particular design, I don't think.
It is an Iraqi Jewish dish that has become a staple of Israeli cuisine as a result of Iraqi Jewish immigration to Israel. Its ingredients are based on a traditional quick breakfast of Iraqi Jews. It is sold in many places throughout Israel.
Yeah, so no, we didn't have that, but just so everyone knows, if I see one of those, I got the shekels.
Oh.
Savage for everybody.
It's not savage, it's sabich.
It's exactly like sandwich, right? What do you think it's based on? That's a cognate word. Sandwich, savage.
Don't be a savage. Say it properly. Yeah. Don't be a savage. Don't say savage. It's not savage. It's sabich. Yes. No, we haven't. Wait a minute. Why am I looking it up when Cars in Depth already explained here? Iraqi Israeli street food pita with hard-boiled eggs.
Oh. What's wrong with you? Hey, let's read the first couple words and then start a Google search.
This is stupid. Yeah, I could have just read the super chat fully. Instead, I decided to just look it
Yeah,
up.
we
and
go
read
into a
it there.
20-minute detour looking up pictures
Yeah.
and stuff.
That could have made everything so much easier. See, this person is actually very considerate and thinks ahead. Thinks ahead. And meanwhile, we Google ahead. Majin Buu, hey, what's up, Dragon Ball Z fan, says, have you ever heard of Bahabazi in Afghanistan? Yes,
No.
we heard, and yes, we feel disgusted.
Yeah, people might want to watch the Kite Runner. That dealt with it a little bit.
It did?
The Kite Runner, yeah.
Or read the book. Books are for losers, as Andrew Tate said.
Yeah, quit being a Norman Finkelstein talking about books like a nerd.
Yeah. Kite Runner. Kite Runner is the first novel by Afghan-American author Khalid Hosseini. Yeah. It is a sick practice in Afghanistan that is culturally entrenched of using little boys. I didn't want to say no more. Rai said, any thoughts on lanterns during Ramadan and Buddhist Lantern Festival? Manichaeans had a month-long fast too, and they melded Buddhism and Judaism. Thoughts? You could speculate about origins of certain practices.
Yeah, lots of, so you've got Hanukkah, Festival of Lights. India also has Festival of Lights called Diwali. So I'm guessing lots of people have various things where they have lanterns or lights or something.
Mass tomorrow. Yep. I have to go to sleep early because tomorrow is Mass. Thank you for reminding me of that. Michelle said the What Runner, careful. I just thought the same thing when I said it, and now you put it in a super chat.
Oh.
And it just sounds, and it's just
You
terrible.
guys are straight racist, man.
Like reinforcing very terrible things here. The funny thing is, I sometimes do this thing where I deliberately misspell or mispronounce or say things in a completely wrong way when I speak to my wife at home. And one day I was looking through Netflix and I came across a show where I was just deliberately putting all the letters in the wrong way when I was reading them. And then I came across the show, which was something with Cobra. I don't know. Anyway. Oh yeah, it was
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it was Cobra Kai. Yeah. And then I said that in a very wrong way on accident without even intending to. And then I was like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. That happens.
Yeah, there was a movie called Porky's, which I don't know why I was allowed to watch this when I was 6, but I watched it like 20 times when I was 6, and they had a racist on there, and there was a Jewish guy in the locker room, and the racist guy walks in and goes, "Hey, is today a good day for flying kites? Because I think it'd be a good day for flying kites." And the Jewish guy like, it's not kite. You're too stupid to be a good bigot. And and then it's funny because the Jewish guy beat the crap out of the other guy.
Yeah. Now I looked up Porky's and everything has been ruined. My whole search history has been ruined. I have to go into it and operate and do a surgical strikes. Knox says Happy Tree Friends Hamas edition featuring Houthis. Hey, that's a good idea. There should be a Hamas Happy Tree Friends show. Alice says David Wood's impersonations are 10 out of 10. Jordan Peterson best.
That's false. That's false. AP has lots of my impressions are awesome, but on Jordan Peterson, AP destroys me on that one.
No, I don't know. If that's what you say.
How about no? See, I can't get it.
How about no?
That's way
was
better.
that even good? I don't know. I can't even tell.
Way better than mine.
I haven't listened to Jordan Peterson in like 20 years or so. Kathy has said in Israel they don't let cameramen come before covering the bodies. In Gaza they don't cover the bodies before cameraman comes. That's yeah. Script Kolbe made gifted 5 memberships and expanded the cult, which I do intend to turn into a full-fledged Jim Jones like cult in the near future. So I always appreciate the additions and the increase in numbers here, and always happy that people are joining this cult.
Yeah, once you have enough funds, then we can buy a little plot of land down in South America.
Yeah. And if things go really bad, then I'll just make everyone have a little drink.
Drink it off. What's wrong with you, man? See, this is what Apostate Aladdin was correct about. You're just sick, man. You're joking about people dying and stuff, man.
Oh boy. Script they made a super sticker. Gosh. Somebody who takes this really seriously could clip this and man. Script Colbert said, for the children. Love you guys. Also, a red triangle with a P in it does not stand for Palestine. Love you, man. Keep up the good work. A red triangle with a P does not stand for Palestine. What does it stand for then? If it doesn't stand for Palestine, what does it stand for? If it is a P, then it stands for Palestine. What else?
He's got one on his little name tag there.
Yeah. What does it stand for if it's not Palestine? We're joking about it, but it actually stands for an Auschwitz inmate. Or oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's what it stands for. Saint Maximilian Kolbe.
Prisoners of war.
16670. Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Okay, that's what it refers to. This is an interesting educational moment here. Huh. That's quite interesting. This is a very nice super chat here. Bill says Israeli Second Amendment. Yes. How did Prophet go to donkey? Says, when you're gonna go live with Adam Seeker again? Again? Who? Me? I never went live with Adam Seeker. Why would I go live again when I didn't go live before?
Well, how are you even going to do it again if you haven't done it?
Exactly. And what and how do you even define again? Knox said, guys, Fortnite has a Ramadan skin. Thoughts?
What is that? Where it like adds like 500 pounds to you? What? What?
Oh no, this is terrible news. I have to quickly go to look at my Fortnite account and see what's happening there. And I cannot accept a Ramadan skin in Fortnite. This is just absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. Apostate Boohoo said, AP, you need to be more considerate of people's feelings. What if a Jim Jones follower joined the stream?
Got a point.
Oh my gosh. I could totally imagine somebody like Aladdin making a video about the dark side of YouTube and then including that joke that I made about drinking. That would totally be what Apostate Osama bin Laden would do. Cool late survivor. My wife said I was Jim Jones' follower in my previous life. Oh, really? I didn't know that. You didn't tell me about this. All right, David. What else? Victor G said, have you ever heard of the Khazar Khanate and its relation to Judaism? Yes, I have indeed. And there are certain theories on what exactly developed. One of the first theories that I heard of was that the Khazars were actually a Turkic population up there, in the face of Christian pressure and Islamic pressure, in the middle of it, chose to convert to Judaism or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what the most accepted theory on their conversion is. But what happened is that these people up there in this small little kingdom adopted Judaism as their official religion. But what apparently happened is that the population itself never really converted, because that's not how things worked for them. The royalty or the nobility, the people in charge, converted to Judaism. They adopted Judaism as a religion, and not much later they basically died out and disappeared when their power faded, and that's all there is. They adopted Judaism. I'm not sure if they even actually practiced it or whatever they did, but it is recognized in history that that officially happened. And of course, there are some people nowadays who say that who bring this conspiracy theory that Ashkenazi Jews are actually descendants of those people who converted to Judaism, who were a Turkic population, and that Ashkenazi Jews are not people who descend from the ancient Jews, but are instead imposters who descended from those people. And that's a hypothesis that was suggested quite a bit in the past without ever presenting any proper evidence. And that hypothesis has been thoroughly refuted meanwhile. And we have scientific studies which officially and undeniably debunked that whole hypothesis and put forth proper evidence to show that Ashkenazi Jews are indeed descendants of people who lived in the Middle East, in what is Israel, or the land of Israel. So that's about as relevant as it gets to any of the discussions we have nowadays. The Khazars themselves are very much historically relevant. And in terms of the genetics and their relation to Jews in general, it's just relevant to anti-Jewish conspiracy theorists nowadays. That's all I can say about it. And David agrees with me on that. Jeremy Mott says the P in the red triangle was for either Poles or political prisoner. Thank you. Thank you. David, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Subra, what's that wife beater bear? This is a good beer. This is a very, very good beer. Tia said Mizrahi, Sephardic, and Ashkenazi Jews can all trace their ancestry to the Levant. Yep, has been proven. I recently posted a study on this because people like to talk without actually looking at the evidence. But I actually recently posted a link on my Twitter, which I could emphasize further. Let's see, debunked. Let's see where I did that. Debunked, thoroughly debunked, refuted. David looks like he wants to go or go to sleep or something like that. I don't know. Disproven. Let's see. I can't find it right now, but there's a study that has debunked that a long time ago, years ago. And it proves that all the Jewish groups are indeed descended from the Levant, without a shadow of a doubt. But the closest related to the land are actually the Iraqi Jews, I think. Anyway, with that said, anything else you want to add, David? Because I want to go into now reviewing another debate for 3 hours. And are you on board with me?
Yeah, let's do it. I was just looking up something that someone whined about.
Why did they whine about it? What did they whine about?
They're whining on my anyway. Don't worry about it.
It's important. I want to know.
You will never know, and you can saw my head off. I'm never going to tell you.
Tell me right now.
Okay, I'll
yeah. Man, now I'm really curious about where I posted that and what that study was, because now I want to have a look at it. Ashkenazi. I want to put it on the screen before I leave. No evidence from genome-wide data, untangling false, missing link of Jewish European ancestry. No evidence from genome-wide data of Khazar. No particular similarity of antipopulation. Okay. Let's see. Give me a second. Okay, I think here's a study that goes through this whole thing and debunks it. It is titled "No Evidence from Genome-Wide Data of Khazar Origin for the Ashkenazi Jews," and it references plenty of different research papers. That's what the full research paper does, as far as I remember. Ugh, come on, I'm not going to go through all of this now. And it says, thus, analysis of Ashkenazi Jews together with a large sample from the region of the Khazar Khanate corroborates the earlier results that Ashkenazi Jews derive their ancestry primarily from populations of the Middle East and Europe, that they possess considerable shared ancestry with other Jewish populations, and that there is no indication of a significant contribution either from within or from north of the Caucasus region. And this is one of many of these researches which conclusively refute that whole idea that Ashkenazi Jews are somehow related to the Khazars or anything like that. Anyway, this is just my nerd moment here. Okay, thanks and goodbye. Just kidding. We will be back soon, tomorrow on David's channel, I believe. And anything else you want to add, David?
Yeah, how are you ruling out massive Jewish conspiracy in that study you just pointed to? Don't even address that, do you?
Well, I have to.
Where's Kanye? Where's Kanye when we need him?
I have to suppress it because I am also working together with the Jews to serve the Jewish agenda. And
Apostate Aladdin.
Hey, you need to keep some shekels handy, man. You need to keep some shekels handy so we can wave them all.
The shackles. I broke my shackles and freed myself from slavery. Oh, Black Angel, not Black Bear. Black Angel just brought up that Rebecca just made a video.
The dark side of anti-Islam. Nice. She's responding to
in response to apostate bin Laden. And yes, definitely go watch that. I will share this. I will share a link to this in the live.
Rebecca's
chat.
cranking out some serious content lately.
I know, she's making a lot of videos here. Making a lot of videos and pretty good ones too. Pretty good stuff. She's good.
Pretty good.
She's good. She's good. I would say she's better than those idiots, whatever their name is, Apostate Prophet and David Wood, whatever.
Who do you like better, Rebecca or Apostate Aladdin?
Now, when you shake the shekels, I have to say Rebecca because Rebecca is a Jew.
That's true.
Yeah, I would say. I guess Rebecca. Okay, fine, Rebecca. Yeah, fine. Okay, all right. I will see you next time. We will see you next time. And
we will have the shekels.
And we will have all the shekels, all of them. And of course, it's Rebecca. So go watch Rebecca's video, which I will also put into the description and pinned in the chat, and might also pin as a comment here. With that said, have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic day, Mr. Borelli.
Stay close to the shekels, but stay away from Islam.
Hold on, Mr. Wood. Hold on, Mr. Wool. Don't misrepresent me. I get the final word here. And I want to say, stay away from Islam.